Gonna be a quick counter-attack. Sai loses the ball. Big knock forward. Waterfall's down and he'll find the target. Opened up from the heavens. Down a Decadensky player gets a touch right in field. And hold on a minute. It's going to be on target. Repre knocks out.
Isaac trying to bring this ball away. Flipping into the middle. No, NC cuts it off the sidewall. Beautiful redirect. Clear, but Dantronex collects. It's over to the left side where Silence lies. What a pass inside. Dirk and Jazz working together. The low 50 played ball into no man's land. Hill motion. Takes to the skies, off the ceiling, reset, dunks down!
And Clifty will look to try and take a shot at the upper finals. Still waiting for its real opening. Clifty off the ceiling. Hold on a minute. He will find the redirect! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Redirects 3v3 Monthly. We are here for the 37th iteration, just over a month from, of course, Oxley's Bunch taking first place during Monthly number 36. That also had Sneer Esports in that grand final as we continue to wait for the day that Yokoko can finally take a championship. It is myself, Sir Pegasus, returning to these screens, but we've got a very, very special guest for the night. It is my wondrous co-caster for today. It's Melakim.
Hello, people. It's wonderful to be here. I mean, it's been amazing. I've been doing a lot of shining on the bubble scenes of each region lately. I've just hosted a bunch of North American show matches a couple days ago, APAC show matches. Now, we're off to shining on the bubble of EU, which is why this tournament is so important for the bubble of EU and for the rest of the world to understand the talent that is in here, because there is amazing talent in here. So I'm very happy to be here today to kind of get a look around the European bubble.
It is such a vast pool over here in EU, but for this specific monthly, we actually have a total of 21 teams past the 2K team average, which is an unbelievable amount, but I feel like I'm saying that every single month now. This is truly starting to feel like the home for a lot of those talents. That has led to quite a convincing bracket overall here, Mel. Only one series going the full distance. That was between TNX and MSA. For the remaining teams, it has all been sweeps, especially for these two here in the upper final.
Yeah, I mean, over here in the upper final, it's you and Lebron to the Sixers. Crazy move, by the way. But these are probably what you expect to be two of some of your favorites as well. You know, they've got the three highest MMR averages in the entire tournament right here. You've got, you know, Dreamy, Prism, and Shark, who have been amazing even this past RLCS season. Then you've got Everino, Kiro, and Yonix, who have been amazing. They haven't dropped a game. Neither of these two teams have dropped the game for the most part over the past couple of rounds. So this is going to be a high quality matchup regardless.
It's the first best of 5 of the day, and for that, of course, we bring it into the upper finals here on the main broadcast. It's going to be Sue versus LeBron 76ers. Plenty of flags all being represented as well in this specific matchup, but that is just the beauty of EU. Also, a lot of returning faces here for the Redirect 3v3 Monthly, including a bit of a Hall of Famer in the Redirect history. That is, of course, multi-time champion Dreamy, who was once the player who had the most wins in Redirect Monthly history. Of course, that title currently goes to Velocity, who's run off all the way to North America now. But you see a Frenchman on that opposite side, spared alongside two Spanish players. Mel, I'm sure you know the strength that these nations bring to the Rocket League scene.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. These are all powerhouses, which is also makes me so excited to see us having national Rocket League, International Rocket League be such a big thing now, because a lot of these players' goals, you know, of course, for some players trying to move up to professional, a lot of these players are also having goals to represent their national team, which is another reason why we've been doing a whole lot of national team matches. We have Puerto Rico, USA. We're going to have a lot of EU ones too. And it's so good to be recognized by your national team, by your federation, so you're able to go up and represent your country, which is the highest honor of all.
And in the space between months between 36 and 37, of course, we've seen the end of the traditional online season of the RLCS. We also saw the end of the alternate portion of the RLCS as well. So for a lot of these players that are competing, this is all they've really got to play for. There might be some of these players heading off to Paris for some potential LCQs, of course, for the Esports World Cup, which is upcoming, and this does give them an opportunity to try a team out to see if they're worthy of being shipped over to that very spot. But of course, in the long off season that is going to be between Worlds and the next season, the Redirects 3v3 monthly, of course, will always be there.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, for one of these players, Sharks just teamed with Smokes and Pukas for the EWC. So a lot of these players are getting their hours back up in between the break from last month and this month. This is a time period for them to get warmed up again and show their worth and prove their worth. So in a couple seconds here, we've got Sue versus Lebron. The Sixers. This is a really big matchup for both teams to try and move on in the bracket from this scenario. Sue, LeBron to the Sixers. We're getting ready for it.
Well, the RLCS season is over. I would say that was the practice for another Redirect 3v3 monthly. It's good to be back.
Here we go. It's Sue versus the 76ers. We got Yonix, Kiro, and Everino on Sue versus Dreamy, Prism, and Shark on LeBron to the Sixers. Two of the best teams in the upper bracket left to scrap it all to try to make the grand final. This upper final is about to get very interesting.
It's very hard to pick a favourite between the two, but if we are going to go purely off those RLCS results, I'm sure Prism and Shark in their own rights would have earned the pedigree to be favoured over their opposition. Of course, Yonix and Ever have been in the scene for quite some time, have flirted with ideas of top 16. Kirox, however, he's been a bit of my wild card in this match, and already he has shown his colours.
Yeah, it was a really good long distance shot. The number one thing for these guys is you have to be extremely careful on how you approach some of these plays. Is Prism in the air. It's a really good pre-jump read by Kirox. Now Yonix trying to get past Dreamy, looking for the bump as well. Shark had positioned himself pretty well to avoid getting bumped. It's a good bang downfield from Prism. Shark off the backboard. Up goes Dreamy, and Dreamy will shoot and score to make it 1-0.
It's a great read, comes out early. And this is a player, if we're talking about pedigree, this is the tournament where he has such a vast history for us to really put Germany on the map here in the scene. We've seen a few more players start to compete and get themselves into those higher marks as well. But either way, we always look back to Dreamy and know that still to this day, he can push for those top spots. This would be the first in quite some time who could take this championship. Shark could have made it happen for him. Instead, it's a double save off Ever and Yonix.
Yeah, and then Yonix will shoot the open net. That was really awkward. It got caught off in transition. It just wasn't a good shot to put on Surrogate. And Prism just had no idea when he was able to go for that ball. Yonix will score the roller.
Yeah, I could see it was an all-out attack, but I still thought they would have the pace of play to at least have one player behind there. Kickoff hasn't gone their way either. Yonix will tap this away into the corner. Second man Preshow. It's going to be all Dreamy's. Kirox is forced to jump early. Shark's not going to get any further touches. Yonix dodges the bump and manages to get the touch as well. That puts Prism in a good spot at the edge of the box to beat out one. Ever makes the block. Dreamy's at that back post. It's a really tough angle to find. Shark would have had an easier time, but Sioux defender got there.
Yeah, there goes one more into the midfield. Kirox had tried to take the quick shot, kind of get the extra touch as well to just try to make Shark awkward. Prism had to play the ball there. And pretty calm right now from the suicide. Is Kirox reset forward, trying to push it all the way downfield. Yonix will try to go now. Shark gets beat. Prism on the counterattack, has a flip remaining, has Shark underneath. Can exactly get that ball back down to him. Dreamy will try to take the 50 with Kirox, and does. This should be a really easy ball to handle.
Oh, but Prism stepped up early and Dreamy just cut across him first. That ended up leaving a bit more of an awkward position there on the right-hand side. Instead now, We can see there's a bit more of a neutral fight coming from Su, but a demo on the last lines leaves it completely open for Shark. It's 4 goals, equally split down the middle, but it's been a pretty strangely natured game, I think that's fair to say so far, Mel. It has moments where it reaches that high acceleration, but then there'll be these moments when it completely trip, and we're back to, I must say, quite a flat performance from both sides.
Well, I mean, there's just been the odd inconsistencies. Every single time it feels like the game has begun to reach a flow. There's just one miss, just one mistake, and the entire game sent into a panic again. It might be this time. It's a double commit. It leaves an open net. Just an unnecessary double commit. Comms not clear enough. 3-2.
Yeah, it's actually quite rare offense with how this game has developed. But as soon as that challenge was put on, the first real big mistake is made. Of course, you just have to capitalize, and it has been a big game of capitalization so far, which feels surprising with how much time with the ball LeBron 76ers especially have had. Shark will just barrel it down the line, but that's not going to challenge Kirox. He's got 100 boost now, straight off the ceiling. Yonex is on that left-hand side. Ever has a full tank higher up the pitch. The pre-flip will go towards that backboard. 2 players challenge. 1 player falls. The backboard is hit, and Dreamy should have the easiest shot of his career on target. Instead, Shark will have one even simpler.
Well, it was just a quick counter-attack, and the Dreamy just having to wrong-foot Iverina on the back line and finally find the shot on target. Amazing play, amazing counter-attack, and amazing acknowledgement of awareness by this entire LeBron to the Sixers team.
Prism towards Shark. Ever was close to challenge. Yonex as well for the first touch is also unchallenged into the skies. Dreamy had little boost, but he used every little bit just to get those fine touches. And with mistakes being so paramount in this game so far, you start to reach a point where a team needs to settle down. Ever's mechanics isn't going to be the stability point for Sui. Instead, Yonex brings it towards the backboard where Prism will confidently take it to the corner.
It's awkward. It was Yonex that had a free shot on target. Dreamy had to remain careful, remain vigilant. Shark had to cut the easy cut. It's going to open up in the midfield for Marino. Just has been no consistency. I think the physicality in this game has really wrong-footed both teams. This entire game has been so jumpy. Averina will try to control it. One of the reset catch. Quick cut by Kirox. Gonna be off target. Yonex will turn again. Just not a quick recovery, but takes a couple of good 50s, leading it back into the midfield, though. Kirox way too close. Almost got caught out. Now has to be careful of the counterattack. Prism, no double. Big boom downfield, and they're gonna have to reset.
Shark is blocked by a Frenchman towards the corner. Will have an opportunity for a second strike. Yonex is waiting towards that front post at a full tank as well. You'd back him to go for these coast to coast. The flip reset is landed, but it's just a 50. Kirox doesn't get enough power. Ever will steal the spot. You just don't know which player to look out for. It's double vision from the LeBron defense, and Sui will break through in the dying minutes.
Yeah, it was just such an amazing play by this entire team. It was pop forward, the pass back, 2 passes in a row, and Ever had so much time to decide what he wanted to do with that ball. But now LeBron to the Sixers are playing from behind again with 30 seconds to go. Need a breakthrough to happen. Here goes Shark in the air, trying to control this. Reset, pop forward, getting the 50. Never will just push it downfield. Dreamy off the wall this time. Yonex will try to make his bargain for the shot. Ever will clear beat Prism, who I have no idea why went. Now it's Yonex trying to put the game away, trying to pancake it down, wrong-footing the opponent, and will put the game away.
Well, it might not have been off the pancake, but still, the entire LeBron defense was flipped. Kirox, with that one flash in the pan opportunity, completes his hat-trick and surely secures the opener in the final stages.
That was an amazing sequence of play from Su. And it's showing why they've got the highest average in the tournament. Oh my goodness, what has almost happened there? Regardless, Su will take game number 1, 5 goals to 3.
As far as consolation goes, that one would have been one of the best I've ever seen. Didn't quite come through, and I feel like that phrase can be reapplied in many different ways to describe the players and the team so far in this first game. It didn't exactly feel like either one of them reached their full potential. I'm still waiting for a little bit extra on the side of LeBron to 76ers. You usually finish a game, Mel, with 3 goals and go, okay, we were offensively strong. Defensively, maybe you're a bit weak if you're losing off the back of it. But when you think back to those 3 goals that the LeBron side got, it was completely open nets left from Sui. Of course, there was a bit of physicality which disrupted the flow of the defensive rotation, but I still expect a little bit more from Dreamy, Shark, and Prism.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're always going to want that little bit more. I think, in general, it was just, like you said, the opens, it was just the weird Sui overcommits that you're not going to get every game. I don't think they did a whole lot. I think that was the goal to get 3-3. I think that was the one goal that they were able to have, which of course it was on the breakaway, but it was a genuine goal. It was a genuine set up goal. But when you're getting gifted goals and you're drawing level with the team, you cannot always rely on the other team to make a mistake or to play, this version of counterattack Rocket League, because for the most part, they didn't have the possession for most of the game. They couldn't find ways to get themselves on the front foot, and that was the difference made at the end of the game. When it comes to production Rocket League, you need to be just that bit better than your opponent.
Yeah, it was a big build-up from Sui in that final minute to finally start to take some front-footed Rocket League and actually be rewarded for it. Kirix, though, was the one to get the score sheet added to first in that last game. Did it in the first few seconds. Can't exactly repeat that same feat ever. Won't get past Shark. And it's still Kirix. Been awkward in back corner. 2 Spaniards are decisive who's going to take that first ball. It did end up being Kirix, but Prism had a very easy time reading that one.
There's just so many loose touches coming out of the LeBron James camp right now. Every single first touch, every defensive touch trying to put it away. It's just a bang or a loose touch popping into the midfield. Just an invitation for the Sioux players to enter the play. And also a really good bang just to clear out. But it's like in the midfield, they're not controlling the ball. They're not really doing much to put a threat in the final third of the Sioux area, which is going to probably end up being the difference. Just haven't been able to have that spark. Kirix should be able to beat Prism to this, but he just played right into the 50. This should be maybe an easy clear. Shark will control this one, maybe the bump as well, but no help with a big demo.
One slap pass back as well, but Prism was already just a step too high there. Is it going to get that demo on Yonik's eye? But the pinch doesn't land. Prism will take it forward up the skies. Kirix prepares for that block. And Shark's not able to get there, instead just dives towards the back half. Dreamy also been forced to reconsider his positioning on the pitch. Prism won't get that redirect either. These are the touches which, with V6 especially, you expect them to make off the ceiling. Kirix does well to complicate the position, but it's brought back to more fundamental Rocket League from the likes of Prism and Dreamy.
Yeah, it should be a free ball for Yonik still with a reset catch and control. Trying to pass it over. Everino did a good job not to jump like he probably wanted. I could have gotten in that situation. It should be his ball again. Really heavy touch, baiting into 50 with Prism. Dreamy will bang this all the way downfield. Tried to control this around. Shark will push it into the corner. It's a big demo. Kirix is in a 1v3 effective, but the shot easily saved. The follow should be behind Everino, and it will be. Dreamy will make it 1-0.
Well, it's how he scored his goal in the game beforehand. Just waited for a runaway play above the crossbar for him to just finish the job on. As well to drill it into the bottom corner. It's the first proper chance from either side. And when they have been so rare, of course that efficiency is so vital to your success.
I mean, if you're going to play the way that they do, they're going to have to score goals like that where they're able to break down the defense over long periods of offensive sequences, physical offensive sequences in the trenches. You just want to tire them out. Yonik's 1v1 trying to take it low. He didn't have boost. It's a really big miss. Prism almost scored the open. It was almost a really unfortunate overcommit by Sue. Really Shark back in field. Redirect pushed into the other side of the field, still in the final third. This will be 4 players going for the ball. The Avengers have assembled in the middle of the air. Should be a free ball. Yonex pre-jumping, but Prism with the save.
And as soon as they did that quad commit, all of a sudden, everyone's locked in, spaced well, going for passing plays. Sometimes that's what you need. Just a little bit of kicking into gear, a bit of grilling from the casters. It's going towards the top corner. Everino says absolutely not. Prism takes it off the ceiling. Shark shot is so wide and far. Yonex gonna have to challenge at the corner, but no one's there. Ever wasn't even in the net, and that's another chance to the wayward from Lebron.
Yeah, but finally they have been digging further and further deeper into this blue half, trying to sit in there as long as they can. It's been harder for Su to find a decisive clear or get it clear and then follow it up. Look at how deep they are right now. It failed. It should be a goal, but somehow it hasn't gotten in. It will be Shark's ball now. Yonex in the air, bumps Shark off the ball. Kira will bang it downfield. Prism lose touch. Kirok sitting on a turn. He's going to be late for this, but he might be able to give this to his teammate with the 50, but it's a really awkward take in 50. Now Yonex is in a 1v2. He jumps awkwardly, but Dreamy couldn't get around the ball.
Should get that one on target. Historically has done as well. That's a big opportunity to lose, but they still have the lead in these final 25 seconds. That pressure, which they sustained for a 4 minutes straight, had its streak broken by that brief attack from Sui, but it's back to regular viewing with Shark on the ball, straight up the roof of the pitch. The second goal is found, the second game is decided, and our best of 5 reduces to 3.
Well, it's been the physicality in this game that has really determined the pace of play. In general, some of these goals have come off of big bumps and demos in general, specifically from LeBron on the 76ers. It has been so physical, and physical doesn't always mean, oh, we're getting a bump, we're getting a demo. It is also just wearing your opponents down in their final third, playing every ball as a 50, baiting the 50s in, making everyone have to play in this as possible. And there are some teams that are just that much better at playing ugly Rocket League. LeBron to the Sixers, a really, really good performance in the final third of Su. Just held them there, just kept them there. They played box in, rotated back in from the midfield, were able to use their path to really not rotate out too far. And whenever the ball got cleared, they were able to just right back on it, take a 50 back to a teammate, and then have that teammate air dribble the ball right back into the final third of Su. And then all of a sudden, Avengers assemble. The entire team is sitting in your backyard now. So it's just so hard to deal with when your sources are getting depleted, when your resources are getting depleted. They're taking your boost, they're getting bumps, forcing 50s, and they're really not letting you out of their half. And when they slow play down like that, it is so easy to be a sitting duck and get bumped and get them.
I'd say that the LeBron players like to frolic in the weeds of the pitch. It's always as if they're just one car length higher than you always expect, and sometimes when the clearances are coming out from Sui, that leads to really awkward positions on the pitch where they are just playing just to get a touch up high and just to keep it there, when you think maybe if they're a step back they can have a shot on. But the fact that they are there in the first place is what has created such an awkward position for Sui. It's a bit of a calculated risk on their side, which I didn't expect to see, frankly, Mel, but if it's working, they're not going to have any complaints.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes it's unconventional Rocket League that'll get you games. It's not always the pretty, mechanical, flashy Rocket League. At the same time, you have to be able to add some variation to your play. Dreamy fake reset underneath to start off game number 3. This is what you love to see. This is a variation on the ball. Pass to yourself from the wall, having to beat the last defender who's stuck on the post. What a great job.
Ask and you shall receive. Listen to Coach Melagame, ladies and gentlemen. This is the man you want to hire.
I appreciate that, because I'm a coach again, by the way. No self-promo. Anyways, continuing. Here goes.
Come on. Back yourself.
Kinda, bro. We'll reveal what we need to when we can, low-key. I'm getting trolled for coaching teams in weeklies, and I've won every weekly I've coached, so I don't know, I'm getting trolled right now. It's okay, I'm getting my free money. Yonix, good bang away. Dreamy's really awkward off the backboard. Yonix will score the open net. Dreamy with no boost, had no time to react, misflipped. 1-1.
I love that mindset from Yonix, Kirox, and Ever. All of them stepped up so high to even attempt this play. It turns out neither of them were particularly needed, but it stretched the pitch. It forced a decision out of 76ers. No one was there on the backboard, and that was the weakness that was exploited. It's perfect. It's so simple. But oh my goodness, you still have to recognize the play in front of you. I'm not sure I recognize what I'm seeing right now. Off the ceiling, down towards Dreamy, makes the read. There are two teammates there, but neither one of them will get a touch.
Yeah, I mean, for Sui, it's going to be such a relief to get that goal because now you have halted some of the momentum that has been being produced against you. And I mean, sometimes that's really just all it is. You had... You know, you lost the last game in such ugly fashion, and then you start this one by Dreamy completely outplaying you 5 seconds into the game. They needed something to get them right once again. Kirox, this is the third time in a row. He's gone for a pre-jump off the sequence. He's just staying in the play, trying to be annoying. I'm not so sure where Yonix is when. I guess he's drive challenged. Kirox will bang the play away. Now it's Yonix. We'll try to... Oh, what is that touch by Yonix on target? Piggy, tell me you've seen that. That's insane.
I did see it, and I wish I didn't. That is disgusting from Yonix. That is the bleach in my eyes.
Like, how does one do that?
It's sensation, but I don't understand. I don't know.
How do you even get the touch from, like, landing off of a fake, like a failed jump, by the way? He tried to read the ball going downfield. He completely mistimed his jump, tried to control it up the wall, and it ends up skimming into the net of the Lebron Sixers team.
I'm disappointed not to see a calculated quick chat because I'm sure he'll be claiming that that one was fully intentional. That was one of the strangest goals we've ever seen. A lot more standard from Prism. Shark wants to bring that ball back into the danger area. Yonix just brings that one away from his own possession. And as a result, this is going to be a confident clearance up by Shark. He is forced off the ball, but a second man will pick it right back up. Dreamy on a tertiary, gets it towards the corner. This should be a confident clearance into the corner, but a bounce does fall against the 76ers' favor.
Yeah, something I like what Yonix is doing. He's playing so patient in the midfield right now. I think his other teammates are going very, very fast, which is a good thing. What he loves to do against the run of play is when he's challenging on the ground, he's sitting. He's sitting, he's not forcing the challenges, he's not forcing anything too fast, he's not trying to get beat, he's allowing the opponents to come to him, then he's playing off of what the opponents are doing. He's doing such a good job of that. Now he's found the ball in his card, trying to go slow with the reset. Kirox had cheated up a little far right there, knowing that Shark had the flip. Now Prism with a reset touch. Yonix will try and slow the pace of play down once again, but the touch is a little bit too loose. Gets dunked. Love this play. The sequence right now. 76ers are just camping the midfield. This is what they did in the last game, just trying to drive further and further in, but these clears are being allowed more and more from the Sioux side. Kirox off the backboard in field, but taken away.
Oh, Shark forces his way through. Dreamy calls him off. Plays on the inside. Two players are there, but Prism was the last piece of this beautiful jigsaw puzzle. It's an excellent bit of play from Shark as well. It's intricate. He dives inside, forces the early jump. That's what creates the space in the first place. Masterful. Prism towards the corner. Shark will get it over one. Ever makes a block. Dreamy does bail away. Ever does have an open net, but it's a tough angle to wrap himself around. But this is Everino we're talking about. He's got that Rocket League blood in his veins, and by that, I mean he's a Frenchman. And that's essentially the same thing. There's the lead there, held by Sui.
Yeah, it's just off of these small mistakes. Just allowing play to open up. And once you allow the play to open... Oh, Onyx has pre-jumped it. He's going to take control. He's got a flip here. Herox off the backboard. Is Everino going to be aggressive? He will. He's just going to keep the ball in play. I'm so sorry. That was such an intriguing sequence because Herox got bumped off of the ball and Onyx had pre-jumped a touch that was about to come, then had to recover his play. Now it's Onyx again, taking a 50. They've got to be careful. Everino's just pushed a little bit far up in that sequence. Herox is pushing it downfield, really loose touch. It should be an open shot, but he's hit it right into Onyx, which was the one place he had to get away from. And instead, they're going to have 15 seconds to get one more.
Onyx on that right wall, has to buy that time. Shark creates some space, but Dreamy can't force it through his Prism. With hopes of going end to end, but that bounce was unfortunate. Pulls off the catch, has a teammate on the right, but obviously they're going to bring the ball up high. The pre-jumps are going to come from Sui. Dreamy's been bumped off. Onyx gets past Shark. It's the entire ground to aim for. And Sui now stand at a match point position after a very back and forth affair overall in terms of just chaotic Rocket League and getting a taste of absolutely everything. That 5 minutes of regulation kept me fed.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sue are going to be very proud of the way that they won that game because, you know, they had to go up against one of the specifically going into this game, they were down. They lost game number 2. They went into this game immediately. Dreamy is just getting past the entire defense. And now the question is, okay, how is our character? This was going to be a big show of their character. Are they going to be able to find a way back in this game? And they were able to find a way back in this game. They took genuine opportunities. They took genuine chances. And they looked a lot more comfortable on defense. It wasn't as unorganized as last time. And they were putting players behind the ball when needed. Also in the midfield, they were able to get up in the midfield for these chances. They were able to use their padding to their advantage and have the boost to get up in the midfield or buy time for a teammate to go. And they weren't getting dominated in their final third when Lebron to the Sixers, which is a ridiculous name to say over and over again, by the way, always got into the final third.
And to that I say, Mel, welcome to the Redirect 3v3 Monthly. We have quite a history of team names to go for. I mean, you weren't there for the Anglo-Dutch War. That was the second Anglo-Dutch War. Sorry.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. We allow the players to have some creativity when they sign up for the tournament, and we hope that it bleeds its way onto the pitch as well. And so far, that has worked for 36 events.
Oh, I love that reset from Prism, just trying to beat the last defender. Pass infield. Oh, Dreamy has to the ball back to himself. He had so many options there. I don't think that was any one of the preferred options. He had the pass back. He had the opportunity to take the shot. And I guess he just couldn't stop his forward momentum fast enough for him to take a sizable play. I think Shark's done a good job there of bumping the last man off. And now here goes LeBron to the Sixers. This is what they're going to want to do. They're going to want to keep this ball in the final third. They've got to be careful now. Dreamy has got to buy some time for his teammates to get back. And maybe he's going to allow the space to have the ball in his car regardless. Shark is going to be up here off the backboard. Short angle double. Dreamy will go next, but he gets beat by Onyx.
And the position just felt like it was improving every single touch the LeBron 76ers team made, but one save completely stunts the growth. Onyx doesn't reach this one, but Kirox has already jumped, and there'll be no complaints from Shark. He's found that back post. There's definitely going to be some questions thrown towards the Sui organization.
Well, I guess finally they break down, and LeBron to the Sixers have found their breakthrough. Kirox had ended up bumping his teammate on the final line. And if not, you know, one of them had to play third. I don't think Everino wanted to play as far up in the goal as he was going to. It was all three players that were just camping goal side. And it was that one bump that disrupted everything. Shark somehow beats Onyx there. I'm not so sure how. Here they go again. Prism with a big beat. Shark taking over. Shark with the flip! And Shark will stuff it into the bottom left.
It's a great finish, but that setup's even better. Prism clamping it down. It's such an awkward spot for Shark to find the back of the net. It's one of those where you initially play it expecting a third man to be available, but Shark's a one-man team.
Well, I guess Shark has kept his flip long enough for him to remain, relevant in the play. I thought he was going so fast there that he would have, kind of overshot the net there, but he's done a good job of being able to remain level in that situation. Here goes Shark having to read the very awkward pass by teammate Dreamy. This is a really different game. This is game number 2 from Shark, Dreamy, and Prism. This is how they were playing in game number 2, trying to make it a physical game in the trenches, but now they've allowed Kirox an open opportunity. Demo incoming. Prism trying to save the day. It should be Yonex who's not correctly positioned, allowing Shark to bang the ball downfield, and he should have an easy control.
Sorry, I just took note of Dreamy picking his spawn, thought he'd escaped any further bumps, and immediately had a car crashing into him when he returned to the pitch. Now is struggling to settle with zero boost. Shark's left on an island, but that pass just too far ahead of a zero boost ever. Now making sure to get their resources back in the tank, but they're going to have to start from square one, from defense to offense. Shark can't find a player on the inside other than, of course, the blue wearing Ever.
This should be a free ball for Shark, though. I love that control. Really wanted to jump for it. I think that bang kind of evaded him. Now it should be Prism on the ball. Dreamy can turn and cut here. Push it back in field. He had to. If not, it would have been a goal. Going the other direction. Everino on the counter. A quick flick. Does he have help? He's going to have to stay on it. Another push downfield off the backboard. This goes. Dreamy will just skim it downfield. It should be a free ball for Kirox, having to avoid Prism. He does so effectively with Yonex downfield. Big dump from Kirox. Where's the help? Everino's going to have to shoot fast. He will. And push it into the top right.
Well, eventually this defense had to pop. There's been so many promising opportunities thrown towards this orange net. And at the first time of asking, with the first real stray ball to a front-facing striker, the back of the net has been pierced. And Sui can break this odds and even streak that was appearing to form.
Here they go again. They're going to need one more. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess we're just like one in the middle of the field. Oh, and they've somehow beat 2, which has almost led to a goal. Here goes Prism on the counter attack. He's going to be relatively unchallenged, but he somehow steers it back toward net with that reset control. Yonex is going to have to do God's work from the back line, and he's pushed it to Kirox. Everino has the boost to get up to it, just barely. Yonex with no boost. He's going to try to turn back infield. He's beat Prism, but Kirox didn't trust it. It's going to be a free pass to Shark. Somehow has been allowed the ability to have space because he's just been left alone in the midfield. A man unmarked. Everino to the wall. Kirox downfield off the backboard. Dreamy does not get the read. Where's the help? Yonex reset touch, but he just shanks the reset. Everino can't get the touch. Dreamy's going to push it downfield. They need 30 seconds to make just anything happen.
Yonex chases down 2 players high. One's eliminated, but Everino has 0 in the net. Yonex has to put it into the box. The fake's enough for what a save from Prism. They'll be delayed a spot in the grand finals. That could have been the one to send this one the distance. It's another chance fallen away. Shark doesn't land the bump on Ever off the ceiling. No way it ends like this.
What?
It up completely. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Oh, you saw the vision was there. I'm gutted. I don't even want to talk. I'm gutted for him. You saw the vision. He wanted to control it, steer it back on target, but we do not need to be a ground freestyler. Dash, 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 and dashing around. Oh, back on target. Oh, it would have been so good. I respect you. I mean, there was not much more he could have done. He could have gone slower, but he would have got challenged from behind. Regardless, it was a good sequence. They should have scored on 3 different plays. I mean, I can't even blame them. The Lebron to 76's defense there was just unreal. So, I mean, my bad, I guess. What a game number 4. Competitive end to game number 4. Now we've got champions who in the first series of the day to make the grand final. My goodness.
It's a perfect setup, and of course this is the uppers, so the loser of this series will not be eliminated out of the competition. They'll lose the opportunity to be a game ahead by default, of course, in that grand finals, and they'll have to play in that losers finals against TNX, which is Tomio, Nolta and Xanox. That's an extremely strong side, and it's actually quite interesting to see, because usually Tomio and Nolta team with, I believe it's Ray, so seeing Xanox on that roster, that's going to be a very interesting sight regardless. That's off the back of them sweeping Ghost White 2-0, which is Shoya, Taro, and Tabernat. I hope I've said all of those names correctly. But let's return to the 6 that we're pretty confident and recognise. It's Champions Field. All these odd-numbered games have historically gotten the favour of Sui, but they've always been close scrapes. That's an expectation yet again on Champions Field.
Here we go. Shark has got to recover this. He's just pushed it back on target for his teammate to deal with. And now they've got to be careful. Kirox taking a controlled 50, loses it dramatically off of the delay. Now Dreamy off the ceiling, beating one off the backboard, trying to beat two. I like the pass to the wall there. Kirox will try to control this. Everino around one. Shark trying to flick it on target, but Yonex dealt with it well.
Yonex 50s towards Dreamy, goes back inside, up high, a great pre-jump. Ever has another shot on. That doesn't have the exact same venom that we were looking for. And you're already starting to think the scoreboard should be 1-0. Definitely gonna be of that opinion now, but Dreamy is just built different.
I guess Sui just hate putting players behind the ball. Everyone's always rotating through and above the play, leaving someone in a 1v2. Kirox, double, down, bang!
Kirox strikes! The first player to score in this series could be the one to decide it. It's an acute angle for a gorgeous strike. Lebron to 76ers. Not gonna block the backboard this time.
Here he goes again, trying to get the quick flick. Almost. He had Shark to beat, and he's gonna be on the ball now. Prism wanting to control touch it. A couple of chances. I understand the need to control it, and I mean, if you're at this level, you should be able to. You had the pass back down, which would have been relatively just one man to beat. Instead, Kirox is trying to go through the other net. Dreamy having to push this ball away. Yonex intercepting it off the backboard. He goes, no double incoming. Shark's touch allowing him to get right back down to it with pressure from Yonex in field. Dreamy way too close to the plate, having to make sure he doesn't get beat, which he fails. Now Kirox trying to pinch it down, can't do what he wants to do. Someone's on the left wall. Shark is challenging from the ceiling, but is kind of giving the ball away with that challenge. Dreamy getting baited and beat. Prism will control now. Kirox flow challenging. Does a good job. I don't think he did get the reset, which allows to push the ball forward, but he's got no help to get the pass forward.
And that was the first real attempt at a controlled clearance from LeBron 76ers. It came from Prism, and Prism again is going to be their route of escape. Yonex just has to clear out. Give them a moment to breathe and regroup. Yonex immediately decides to suffocate on the opposite side instead. Everino has a target. And Prism was in the area. There was a player in the front post as well. Deceptively defensive, built with just sticks, stones, and sellotape.
I am not so sure what's happened there to Dreamy. Ideally, that would have been one of Dreamy or Prism's balls. Prism was on the other side of the field. Dreamy needs to make something happen on this play just to make up for the last one. Because now Sue has very decisively taken control. Maybe on the counter-attack, they can't make it happen just yet.
Prism off that corner, Dreamy. There is space on the left-hand side, and already we see him commit all his boost to playing forward. That puts him in an awkward position here defensively. The counter-attack's going to be hard to ignite. He still doesn't have any boost. Shark, though, has a lot more. That's why he's laid off towards him. Goes for the dribble by himself. Dreamy's bump was almost enough to go all the way. But it is still goalless for LeBron. Prism wants to get it back to that spot. Dreamy's there on the inside, but it's too readable. Sui confidently clear.
Why does it-
That
what?
one lost all confidence, but what are we doing? It's a miss.
One
I'm
more?
gonna triple commit. Shark shot towards the bottom corner. There was somehow enough time for all three players to recover, reposition. Kirox has that one straight onto his cart. And now Ever in the corner can't get the ball up, but these are vital seconds being wasted.
I mean, there was just an open opportunity after someone spilled a save in field for Shark to take the open net, and he's decided to control it and take it high, and it would have been wide open, regardless of how hard the shot. Oh, is that a bump? Is that going to be in? Saved by Onyx. They've got to make something happen. They had some opportunity. If you wanted to shoot shots straight on target, you had to do it earlier. Prism's beat too, but there's not going to be immediate help because Everino's back into play. Kirox trying to push it downfield. Dreamy looking to get any play in the ball. Shark loses. Now Prism shooting. He can't make it happen. Dreamy is just compensating for the fact that he was way too far up his third man. Kirox downfield. Shark can't get the touch. Prism trying to rotate upfield. What can he do? He leaves it for Shark, who's going to have to do it virtually by himself. He has to beat 3. He cannot beat 3. It's a decent 50 by Prism, but they're all going to get beat. Yonix will effectively put this game to bed.
That's got to be the end. Every single player contributing to the score sheet. That's on Sui. And it's off the back of a really well-connected play from Ever in the midfield line. When that 30-second call was made, you know that LeBron had to give it absolutely everything. But with that, you leave your back door open. And Sui have let themselves all the way in. Could get up a fourth as well. Instead, Shark will try and pick up what would feel like consolation or just a momentum builder for that lower finals. Shark leaving this game, not this time, empty-handed.
Yeah, I'm sure that LeBron to the Sixers are going to be kind of disappointed with their performance in game number 5, understanding the momentum that they had coming out of last game. But regardless, it was a near flawless performance coming out of Sui as they survive and advance to the grand final. It is Sui in 3 games compared to LeBron James to the Sixers in 2.
Yeah, it went all the way to 5-0. We were presented a really good first series. It was one that was really back and forth, but I thought we saw a lot of progression from both sides in their gameplay. It started off a little bit messy either way. They weren't making those touches which you would expect from the 6 players, but then those mechanics seemed to get warmed up more and more as time went on. We saw some incredible goals along the way, including that insane opener from Kirox in that game 5. But now heading towards the lower finals, it is going to be LeBron to 76ers again against a team that is 2/3 the reigning champion from monthly 36.
Yeah, I mean, this has been absolutely amazing. What a series that we just got in general. So big props to them. I think that in general, Sui, they came out, they played so well. I think that they were the more effective team when it came to being on the ball on offense. LeBron to the Sixers, I feel like they were a lot better on the ball, but they weren't as effective on the ball. And how effective you are on the ball is going to decide these series for you in general. And that's one thing that's going to happen when you're not effective on the ball in certain places. You're going to end up losing the series. And now they're down into this lower final, as you can see on your screen, against TNX, who have had a pretty good lower bracket run, by the way, after losing their upper semi. But you know, they've been pretty good, and regardless, it's going to be a hard matchup for LeBron to the Sixers in general, where they're going to have to be a whole lot better.
And fair play to Sui, because they're in that grand final spot and they've actually already played the guaranteed top 3 remaining teams in this competition. You see in that upper semi-final, they've already played TNX. We just saw in that upper final, they've already played LeBron. This has been the thorn in the side of every single competitive team in this competition. And this lower finals is just to have the right to play against the final boss of monthly 37. that's Everino, that's Kirox, that's Yonix. That's all going to come to you, ladies and gentlemen, after a break. It is an absolute pleasure to be back with the Redirect 3v3 monthlies. It had been just over a month since the last one, and sometimes we have a little bit of a shorter break, sometimes it's a little bit longer, but even if it was till the very end of time, we always see how much worth this tournament has whenever it returns. We'll see the return of those champions in those last month to claw their way back to another grand finals. We'll see you after the break. Welcome to the Redirect 3v3 monthly. Last month, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We had TTV Velocity RL taking on Project Jamal in that upper final, and well, it's in the name. Velocity RL made rather swift action of their opponents, forcing them down into the lower brackets versus ZGDX, and Project Jamal, seemingly learning a lesson from their previous opponents, enacted a rather similar force against this orange-sided team. They earned their rematch here in the grand finals, where despite a greater fight coming from Project Jamal, Velocity RL forced themselves to a match point overtime, where ultimately Velocity RL collected Redirect 23's championship. They'll be returning here for the into their lifestyles as well, but now here playing in their own tournament for charity, they've got something here to prove, especially against this roster of Ascend, a name which has such history behind it and a player that we both very much.
But we've got our upper bracket final to sort out first.
And well, we've had plenty of time to hype up this upcoming game. Seed 1 versus Seed 3. A little bit of a change to the script here. Strike or be struck, looking to make that difference. It's time for the upper finals. I saw that ball forward there from Haven, but Hoppy Tie and a full tank of boost endpoint have been so consistent defensively. Well, throw whatever scripts I had out the window, because thank you for the 5 gifted subs, Nameless Esports. It's an absolute pleasure to have you guys over here in the chat. But we are preparing for what is going to be the final spot in the grand finals to get decided. A return of Lebron to 76ers after unfortunately falling in Game 5 in that upper final here on the broadcast. And for that, of course, it is still myself, Sir Pegasus, and it is still Melakim alongside me as well. I hope you've enjoyed your time here so far with the EU bubble.
Oh, I mean, this has been amazing considering, you know, the circumstances. This is like such an easy way to make my like week better is I get to cast with Pegasus. Like up until like a couple weeks ago, I have never cast with Pegasus in my life, and we cast on like ROCS APAC, and it just like made my month. Like it was amazing. This guy's the GOAT. Has is the GOAT on production. Like I don't know how it is just my luck to casually end up on like the best production like tournament in the entire world. Like it's actually insane over here. So I am enjoying my time right now. Believe me, I'm enjoying my time.
And hey, if you liked the production, I hope you saw the ad we were running towards the break, because we do RLCS team streams as well. Just contact RDR Prod, well, the redirect Twitter or Hazard or myself directly. Anywho, we've still got a tournament to complete here, Mel. We're at that lower finals point now with LeBron 76ers playing against TNX. But what's fascinating about TNX, they went to the lower bracket a little bit earlier than I was expecting. Got that Game 3 loss to MSA, so at least it was a bit more of a fight. And they got that sweep against Ice Fishing 1200X. Mel, you were talking about the names we have here in the tournament. That feels like an absolute classic.
I need to know the context
behind that. We try with a lot of them, and we struggle, as you can imagine, with a lot of them. But this is a very, very interesting matchup specifically because Nolta, Tomio, and Xanox are a 2/3 roster of the reigning Redirect 3v3 monthly champions, Oxley's bunch.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a good match regardless. This is the EU bubble in general. I mean, we talked about how much we expected from Dreamy, Prism, and Shark, but in general, this Nota, Tomio, and Xanox team is definitely going to be a very threatening team in this matchup, and they're going to take it to LeBron to the 76ers with their all. I think, you know, I don't know how much they got to watch of that last matchup, but LeBron to the Sixers, they're going to have to step up their on-ball efficiency if they're going to want to beat a team like TNX, who have been pretty good in the bracket and have only really lost to the team that's in the grand final.
And for me, Xanox is going to be the real talking point for myself in this upcoming matchup, with Nolta and Tomio already establishing themselves as a little bit of a duo, with usually 2/3 of Nolta, Tomio, and Ray always teaming in these kinds of tournaments. But it's also that flag that Xanox represents, a nation which historically had their hurdles to even compete in the RLCS in the first place. Now they have someone waving that flag as a world champion, and there are also more rising stars from the nation as well, of the names of course, Ray, and also Yukoko as well, who plays in a lot of these sides. And when you compare that to the very seasoned nations of Germany, England, and Ireland on that opposite side, this sets up quite the classic.
Yeah, I mean, in general, it's been pretty cool. I think a matchup I'm going to want to see here is specifically between Shark and Xanox. What Xanox is going to be able to do on the ball compared to what Shark's going to be able to do on the ball. Shark is a very big player when it comes to being able to control the ball and make chances, create chances and sequences out of essentially nothing. And we saw some of that in that last matchup. We're going to have to see a whole lot more of it in this matchup. And, you know, they value that so much over here in this region, being able to control the ball and, you know, outplay their opponents, beat one, beat two, trying to open up for your teammates to have an easy finish to the play. That's what Shark likes to do. That's what he did in the last series. He's going to have to do a little bit more of that in this series if they're going to want to make it happen. But the one big problem with what they were able to do in the last series was that some of those control touches were taken into solo plays instead of passes. It's very hard to beat three from the midfield, even when you have players as Mechanical, Shark Prism, and Dreamy on your team.
Well, let's see. if those players are ready and have fixed up all of those issues in the upper bracket. It is 2 teams tied from their defeat against the grand finalists that must be severed if they want to take that final spot in the grand finals. It's your reigning champions versus the champions of old underway.
Here we go. It's the lower final. Both Dreamy, Prism, and Shark, and Nota, Tomio, and Xanox have a really big match to deal with here, trying to make the grand final. Not many tournaments like this happen as consistently in this region, so this is extremely important. This is for prize pool right here. Let's see if LeBron to the Sixers can get their revenge and try to make the grand final again, or if CNX can elevate their level and get a rematch.
It's £30 guaranteed to the pocket if you make it towards that grand finals, but as you mentioned, there's no more for third place or further. The total prize pool of £100 is what gets split in that final bear competition. Oh my goodness, that was so awkward from Prism to get himself out. There's also channel point predictions though, if you guys would like to put something down on the table too. But in that grand final, Smell, it's a weighted best of 7. There's already 1 game guaranteed for Sui. So if you have to win in this lowers, you've got to do it with a little bit of a matter of consistency and a bit of one-sidedness as well.
Yeah, here they go. Shot on target from Dreamy. We'll get the opener for LeBron James to the Sixers. A much faster breakthrough in this series than the last for them. 1-0.
Early on, it's the first real breakaway, and it is Dreamy to add to that score sheet as well. And I've mentioned it before, I'm going to mention it many more times, the seasoned history that Dreamy has in these monthlies. You want to talk about really building up the bubble and giving a player the chance to shine. Dreamy has been that shining star for quite some time.
Yeah, here they go again. Pass it field for Tomio to make it 1-0.
It's a great goal. Drilled in quick. Xanox is the one to make it happen off that corner. Dreamy doesn't know what to play for there. You wonder, is he going to pull off that masterful corner read, or do I have to play that intercept? It is that brief moment of hesitation which has the ball just ahead.
Yeah, it was a very smart play off the corner back in field, and Tomio coming from the opposite side of the field, just beating out 2 players, splitting the defense with his jump. Now they're going to be careful. Pass Shark on target. 2-1.
Well, what do we have here? The lower finals of a lifetime to get us started. Prism booms it towards Shark, generates all that power, redirects it towards that back post. This is one I need to see go for distance, and I know I'm asking for that early.
Reset, double, faking. Now Xanox has the opportunity to push it back on target. It's so slow shots that are very hard to control. Prism trying to cut up the play. It's Nolta, but Tomio, I think, wanted to push someone back off the backboard, but get a control touch at the very least, and that really happened. And now TNX is bumping each other. They've got to be careful to not really send themselves out of sorts. Tomio will try to follow this off the backboard. Shark, I like the touches. And the read around 1. Nolta off the backboard on target. Can he get it back around? But Xanox has pushed it away. What? Oh, please.
He just wanted to be the hero. He wanted to pull off the awkward angle. I tell you what, if he pulled it off, we'd be singing his praises. Tommy Ovo is going to be the tune I sing towards now. Towards that left wall, 60 boost in the tank, drags it all the way through, and there's a neutron star on the body. He powers through Prism.
Oh, that's such a great play from Tomio. You think he's going to stick along the wall and try to use a corner to get it back in field. No, he flips off the wall, stays behind it. He beats 1 by flipping off the ball, by the way. Stayed behind it and was able to push it back on target and put himself in a position to, at the very least, take a 50 out of it. And very dramatically won the 50 on the back line. Was able to get the dunk. That is what you're going to have to expect from a player like him. He is so good at doing things like that. Staying behind the ball. Shark trying to push it downfield. He couldn't make it happen. Tomio from the side wall. I like the couple of plays. Shark has Dreamy in field. Will be intercepted with a reset touch from Tomio. He'll drop in front of it and make it very awkward for LeBron to the Sixers to kind of rotate out there. No boost from Xanox. He'll skim it back forward. It's a faking for Tomio, who will use the drag back in field, allowing Xanox to have a on target, or at the very least push toward the net. Now they've got to be countered. Excuse me. Down. Dreamy finishes his teammate and almost let it go. Receive.
And off the ceiling. It's Prism again towards that left wall. Blocked off by Nolta. Tomio has temporary space. You know that Dreamy's going to shut that down quick, so he takes towards the skies instead. Tries to delay the inevitable. Nolta has that flip reset. It's all just going to be used for recovery, though Shark doesn't have much urgency to get out from deep. The bump opens up the space regardless. And now it's Xanox. Back towards the wall, stopped by Dreamy. The second touch doesn't find the target. Tomio looks for the redirect. Funny word, that one. Xanox doesn't break through Dreamy. It's Shark again for the block. What is this pace of play?
Now, it's been raised significantly in the last minute or so, with about a minute to go. Prism back in field. Tomio will try to make it happen. Shark with a good 50. Nolta will take it from his back wall. Just try to play damage control. This is a very interesting control touch. And somehow Tomio has gotten out of that situation. He's looking for the bump somehow. He steered it into a threatening position from having a really awkward first touch. It was just because of the LeBron to Sixers third man being so far up the plate. Now it'll be Xanox gets beat by Shark. Tomio, does he have the ability to get back to it? Nolta with a really big beat. Dreamy will beat one, gets demo. Prism conceding the possession. As Nolta, it should be his ball. Very heavy touch. Dreamy, no boost to work with. Tomio in a playable position. Off the ground, off the backboard now. They've got to make it happen. Prism will try to control this. Do they want to play in 0 seconds? Neither have the ability to overtime in game one.
And it felt like we were guaranteed to reach this spot. It's been so close to the pitch. The scoreline has done a good job to reflect that. Dreamy can't reset his way through. Could have been some early fireworks over here in overtime. Instead, Tomio tries to carry through 2 defenders. There's a third as well waiting on the line. It's Dreamy who will try and catch that ball up high. Prism's that secondary option on that backboard. Shark will bring it towards that corner. There isn't really any clear-cut touches. This is the first one we've seen in quite a long time. Prism can't make the most of it. A bump doesn't land from Shark. Tomio almost goes through completely on their lonesome. The backboard is waiting to be read, but it's not enough power to break through the brisk defense of LeBron.
Dreamy's played it well around the corner, just baiting in the 50 win. Xanox will bang it downfield. Prism will control it. Has time to get back to it. He's going to have Dreamy underneath, and I guess it's just enough to get up to the 50, but not too much in general. Shark having to play this on the backboard, did a good job and handled it well, but he will concede possession, and I'm not going to lie, that was the best thing he could have done in his position. Prism, really big challenge, going high for that one. Now Nolta trying to bang it downfield. Xanox will go to the wall. He passes it to himself. He'll play it down. Nolta!
Well, that's how you end an OT with pure style, pure power, and pure passion. TNX, to complete their lower bracket run, still need 2 more. It's the first step in a march of 100 miles.
Well, the campaign begins now, TNX. And what a campaign we've seen. What a pass off of the right side. Well, they were down in this game, and they found a way back in and found a way to get momentum. They didn't play ugly. The pace of play just got raised significantly when it mattered. First of all, look at this highlight package from them. It was a great pass in field. They just know where their teammates are. They know how to put players behind the ball. They know how to not overcommit and find ways to get deeper and deeper past the LeBron to Sixers half every single time it matters. And it was this play right here. Xanox now to the wall. Now pass back infield on target. What a play. What a shot. TNX, what a start to the series.
But it's such a great recognition of the position as well, to play it so fast onto the infield. See that space is there. The run was timed to perfection. And if you want to talk about the power he generated off the back of that, Mel, that comes from the perfect assist. He didn't have to readjust. He didn't have to tap the brake. He didn't have to let go of accelerate, boost, neither. Just full pace, pelt at the ball, and it still manages to find the target. That is a gorgeous team effort from TNX.
Yeah, I mean, they have been incredible in this game. I think it's a great show of character, which we don't always talk about a lot when it comes to these players in these games, is what is your character? Can you bounce back in difficult situations? How is it going to be when you need to, you know, kind of reset the mental in difficult situations? They have been so good in that department today in general, losing early in the bracket and now being able to come back and play in a scenario where they're winning 3 lower bracket series in a row, trying to make the grand final against a team that just went to 5 with the grand finalists. And you know, in general, this has just been a great show from them. LeBron to the Sixers need a change.
And it makes sense that it is these two that are playing in the lower finals as well. They are the two teams that got knocked down but are already guaranteed grand finalists. So that sets up nicely just for this matchup, for them to be as close as you could call for to potentially get revenge at the most vital point. Xanox, though, has already been challenged by Dreamy. Nolta completely cleans it up with the close control.
Here they go. The counter, it's Tomio. Prism will collect the boost and try to turn. Xanox did a good job of avoiding him. And here he is again off the ceiling. He's going to have a flip here to use. I think the touchdown from the ceiling was a bit of a loose stuff, so he had to take some time to get back down there. Now Prism on the counter attack. That was one in field, trying to, at the very least, draw something out of the defense. Shark on target from Shark. Denied. Shark back in field. Prism jumping. Didn't need to. I think he was always going to get beat. Now Dream is kind of lost back. He's going to have Prism pre-jumping him. He's going to play Shark below, who's going to take his time to come in, and he had choices. He could have controlled or shot. Decided the in-between with a pop.
And the TNX have given a lot of space. You saw 2 players, one on the goal line, one on the backboard, one trying to make those high challenges. If you do get that initial beating, you can beat that first man with the pops that 76ers have been going for. That does open the doors for some individual excellence, or potentially one of those 50s to ricochet to a high play second man as well. That's not coming into play. Instead, it's a huge miss off the corner, but an even bigger save from Dreamy.
Yeah, I like that touch by Nolta, just kind of putting in a position where only he could get it, but now Xanox has to deal with the ball on his car with no boost. Good 50 by Tomio in the midfield. Now Shark will push it downfield. Nolta having to read it, pushing it into the corner. Prism double tapping it into a inconvenient position. Maybe not for Dreamy though, as he puts it back across the face of the net. Tomio trying to just get it away from Shark, which he just cannot do. Shark is here, there, and everywhere right now for LeBron to the Sixers.
Entire pitch feels like it has been his domain, though Prism's been the player I see oftentimes just stack it up from deep, wants to take back control, wants to go for that solo goal. The link up between Dreamy was almost enough to find the back of the net. Instead, Tomio gets a big clearance. It's a rare offense for TNX, who have played uncharacteristically defensive in this second.
Yeah, here they go. Look at this. Dreamy wanted to kind of push it back down. Prism will get some help. And he pushed this back on his car. Nolta trying to make it happen. Shark on target. It's nothing doing. I think both teams are in a spot where they're complacent in terms of their positioning. The game really hasn't opened up just yet. Hasn't been too dangerous. It might open up now. Tomio's going to come from the ceiling and the backboard and drop it down. Yes, the game did open up. It is Tomio's domain.
A redirect champion shows you one of the best examples of that mechanic in the 37th tournament we have ever had. You want to talk about opening up a series, Mel? It has been completely torn open.
I mean, that's the way to open up the game. Shark will tie into the top left corner. Yes, the game opened up and now everyone's scoring. LeBron to the 76ers finally have their breakthrough.
Yeah, those cracks in the dam have completely broken open. And now here comes the waterfall of goals that we saw in the game beforehand. Quick on the kickoff. Xanox wants that backboard. Prism proves that it's his own domain this time. Dreamy. What on earth was that defensive play? Bangs it off his own back wall. For a second, I thought he got his colour switched.
Here we go again. Shark trying to transition out. Xanox back to Tomio, who had the sensational opener to game number 2. Will fake it. He's going to beat one via the fake, but he's kind of lost control in the air. Ulta will continue to play. Prism will bang it downfield. Shark will advance with him. Someone is Anno striding the boost in the top corner. I didn't see who that was. I think that was Dreamy. Here goes Ulta. Look at that. He's got Xanox downfield.
Well, sorry, was that Anno stratting? Anno stratting. I would love to know. I would love to know.
What Anno
Maybe after
is?
Dreamy doubles up. Oh.
It's just like sitting on the corner booth. I just love making fun of my players for just like doing nonsense sitting on the corner booth while we're counterattacking downfield. I'm sorry, what my kids will do, they'll just be like, oh, we've got all the pressure. Let me just go back to the back booth and sit and wait till it spawns. No, what are we doing? It's okay though. I'm not gonna rage on them on a public commentary stream. That's fine. Xanox had to get a reverse aerial to get the save. A pass down to Prism into the top right and give LeBron to the Sixers the lead.
Well, Shark brought the light, and Prism splits into a gorgeous rainbow strike towards that top corner. It's the lever has been found. The equality in this series as well, if they can hold on. For now, only 15 seconds. Dreamy's demo will help prevent any counter-attacking opportunities. This corner is now shark-infested waters. Gets that first touch. Will look for more. Doesn't need a goal. Just has to waste down time. He's already brought down 17. Just one more to go. And LeBron are in the lower finals.
I cannot understate or overstate enough how important of a game that was for LeBron to the 76ers. You know, you're losing game number 1 in a spot where I don't even think they should have really given up the space that they did. They had the lead in game number 1. And then, you know, you go down in game number 2 to this? Are you serious? From Tomio, that is probably going to end up being the shot of the day, shot of the month, I guess, in this scenario. But then it was a counter. It was a bad mistake in the midfield from TNX. And then the game opened up, and then it just ended up being so good. What a response from LeBron to the Sixers. I just talked again about character in the last changeover. I'm going to talk about it again here. How is your character? Can you come back? Can you keep yourself mentally in it? Can you make it work when you're down? Can you find ways to win? LeBron to the Sixers did.
Well, we haven't had a single game so far that has been played on an even number, so game 2, game 4, where LeBron to 76ers haven't won. That has followed us from the upper finals to the lower final. However, they need to take their first ever odd-numbered game to steal the initiative and have any hopes of finding themselves into the grand finals. It could come from a Shark pre-flip, but Tomio instead makes the catch, clears out and lays off nicely towards Xanox. The 1-2 goes towards the sidewall. No 2 touches needed. It hasn't been a touch from the Sixers in quite some time. But there's the first in a while. Don't worry, they did show up.
I think the better question for me personally is how does TNX dropping that game end up affecting them in this game and then for the rest of the series? If they end up dropping one more, is Tomio just peeking right now? Did you see that skim to the top right and then the fake into the bump? TNX, I'm sure it bothers them a little bit, the fact that they lost that game, because the way that they gave up the first goal against them in that game was, you know, so per se a little burger. But at the same time, it was just like, TNX in this game right now, they're fighting opportunities. They just need to make sure it doesn't affect their pace of play or their direct, approach of the game. Because when they're on the ball, they're doing things like this. For one, amazing reset. I'm just a slight bit confused how he beat 2 on the back line. Oh, Dreamy backflipped. Oh, wow.
Well, we've had burgers, apparently. Those are your fries. Anything else you'd like to add towards the side?
Spaghetti.
What? We're moving on.
Yeah.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
Why?
Tomio, off the backboard,
Okay.
Shadow Shark. Tries to catch this one off the waterfall. Nolta wants to through. Dreamy, thought for a second didn't have that first touch. Instead, it was a calculated skim towards the backboard. Met it for second touches. Meets it for second.
No, stop it. No, stop it. How in the world is this transition open? Okay, so one missed. Oh, who just flew past the ball? That open in the midfield. You can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. That is burger, as a matter of fact. I don't know if y'all use that phrase in EU, but over here in NA, when something
I've heard of it. It's an NA phrase, yes.
Corner. Yeah, we just say when some nonsense is going on, that's a burger play. That right there, that was a burger play. Let's not do too much of that.
I would describe it as naff. I would say it was a naff defensive play. Do you hear that? Do you know that one?
Play? No, I don't know that one.
It just means bad. Rubbish. There you go.
It means rubbish.
You can learn about different cultures.
I know the word rubbish. Just say rubbish next time. What is naff? I said nash. Say naff.
Say rubbish next time. Why do you say burger? My goodness.
Because the play was burger. I don't know. Guy backflips. That's a burger. It's like hashtag Melakim burnt the ramen clip. Why are we backflipping on open double? Come on now.
I blame the players for this one. What on earth happened between game 2 and game 3? We were seeing masterful strikes. They're going to play like they're backflipping, and I think we're doing the caster equivalent now.
I mean, now we're paying. I'm not gonna say we're playing on rank C pace, but the pace did just slow down significantly, and both sides are nervously comfortable. Until Xanox is going to score the most perfect flick of his career into the top left. He somehow beat 2. Dreamy just kind of nonsense flipping forward, and Shark with no boost couldn't accelerate to the top corner. TNX up by 2, or up by 1 now.
Do we?
Stop it. Why? Hard cheat of the century, I guess, into the top shelf. Sure.
Sometimes you just have a game like this. Every now and again, and it's very easy.
Hazza. I guess so, bro. The Hazza, I don't know if you can see it, Piggy. This guy has just put the burger. He just put the word burger on the screen, bro. He just put the word burger on the screen, bro. I guess, Hazza, bro. It's alright.
I'll have you know, I didn't see it, but I assume that wasn't Hazard. That was our sentient lower third, which is a reoccurring character over on the redirect streams. We'll have to clue you in on those.
Okay. Our sentient lower third. LeBron to the Sixers needs to get some offense in the TNX final third, because they're being outplayed in the midfield right now, which is something, I'm being completely honest, that they did not experience at all in their upper final matchup. They did not get outplayed in the midfield. They are being outclassed right now in the midfield. They can't get the ball out. They're being stuck in their final third. The ball might open up off the backboard here. They are just diving for everything because they're being beat to every bang, and they're second best to every ball, forcing them to go up. Is this going to be an open net? Are you serious? First of all, what a first touch by Prism. Someone on the TNX final third over-rotated. Nolta, where did you go?
Credit where it's due, though. That first catch from Prism is pretty darn impressive. Flicks still doesn't put too much power on it. Just leaves enough to... Again! Again! Again!
I mean, dude, why? Oh, yeah, that's the perfect place to put Burger. That was Burger. Oh, I guess, bro. Like, we've just flipped forward ahead of the play, and I guess, you know, it's your average kickoff goal. Whoever was first to the deep dreaming. Okay. Did you say that? Am I tweaking? Because sure, you probably got a slightly different feed than I do because you get to be in the game.
No, don't worry. I saw it, but
okay.
In just amongst
Was
all the
justified?
other chaos we've seen in this game,
There they go. That's
and then he does that. And then he does that.
No.
But the problem is, I don't want to celebrate. I don't want to celebrate because I've seen where the kickoffs go straight afterwards. So I'm just going to give it a second. You guys can watch the replay. You guys can celebrate. I'm not falling for this trap again. Let's see.
All right. So they've got 8 seconds. They need something to happen. Here we go. They've won the kickoff, so no kickoff goal here for TNX. It's going to bounce dramatically low. This might fall. It's going to just roll on the ground, and that'll be the game. Okay, so they didn't even have a chance. TNX will go into match point to make the grand final. Nolta, Tomio, and Xanox win the odd game.
Let's just take a second. I think everyone needs to have a little bit of a TO after this match, a bit of a hydration break, so to speak. That was a bit of a mess overall from almost everyone on that pitch, and I hate to mention it again, but look, I'm a mathematician. I like pointing out patterns. LeBron still hasn't won an even-numbered game. And that felt like the curse at its maximum potential.
Okay, so forget the hydration break, by the way. There is no water in the water bottle. So I guess I'm just gonna, like, not have water. Yeah, thank you for having me from across the continent. Not even across the ocean. Like, I can have that water, but that's okay. No, I mean, besides for the burgers, fries, and spaghettis, that was a burger game. We're going to have a game. This is a game that LeBron to the Sixers, you know, statistically should win. They got to win the even number game. They got to win the 2s and the 4s. They've got to win the 2s, 4s, and then the 5s if they want to make the grand final. They've lost so many of these odd-numbered games. They've been completely outplayed in the final third. That second game even wasn't not dominated by them, but they might be off to a good start. It's Shark solo in game number 4 to take the lead.
And we're starting to see the monkeys pour off this curse because they've also never lost on the evens. And Shark gets us started early. It's a wonderful individual effort over the first 11 seconds. Down, 1 goal scored. I doubt that we're going to keep that kind of streak going, but it would create history if so. Dreamy's up for the challenge. Down to Shark! What a save from Nolta.
Maybe this just is their game. Maybe the evens are just their game. Dreamy pop up for Shark to go. Tomio had to remain alert. He's going to have a free ball. What a beat by him as well. Can he continue from the corner? Xanox trying to find a way where he can make this be an advantageous 50. Shark trying to play it around the corner on the quick transition. Tomio didn't know he had an open net. It should be Nolta's ball. He's going to take his time to jump. He's going to play back to himself. Great control. He'll continue now, but he doesn't have immediate help. He will now with Xanox entering the play and try to make something happen. I like this control by Prism. He's beat 1. He's got 2 in front. The race and forward, forcing a save out of Xanox. And now they'll try to continue after the bang.
You can just feel it. It's a different atmosphere on these games. The stat buff is in place for Dreamy, Prism, and Shark. And speaking of, there he is, off the ceiling. Nolta completely steals that one away, but he's got no boost to carry it forward with. Tomio ends up passing towards Shark. And now there's a punch up at his front post. Nolta again gets a clearance out with very little boost, but this time, it's all the way on targets.
Why has it happened so many times today? Just bangs from the other side of the field, and the defense has been caught out. Where is my burger lower third graphic? That was, I mean, burger.
There you go. There you go.
Unbelievable. I mean, first of all, amazing burger production. That actually contradicts itself. It's just amazing production. It's amazing production. It's amazing production. No. It's amazing production. The gameplay, the goals have been kind of burger. Not gonna hold you, but it's been great though. Counter, Nota, around the corner. Oh, if he just had some bit more of the close angle, he would have had the goal to the bottom right. It was hard to read. But it's saved, and it comes off the inside of the upper post.
Insane save, but now Prism needs to turn it into a counter-attack. Dreamy back into that corner. Nolta knocks it towards the right-hand side. Shag has cut inside off the wings. Anox waited to make that jump. Prism is going to follow through, but the amount of boost he used still isn't enough to shift his momentum forward. Tomio won't need too much to take some space forward. Shark gets it towards that corner. Inside pass has Prism getting chased by Tomio. Shark's going to be called for soon, but somehow Prism's escaped regardless.
Oh no, trying to control this around. TNX have to find a way to keep this pressure up. Lebron has to get out of their half. Dreamy might be the person. Redirect. Nota has to be careful. Prism's up. I don't know why he's getting clear beat there. Just trying to put the pressure, but there's no reason to drive chow that, jump for that. You're just wasting resources. Prism off the backboard. Xanax to try to push it downfield. Why wasn't it open there? Second touch, trying to push it back on target. Tomio doesn't want that to the play. TNX just rushing to put numbers behind the ball just in case Xanax gets beat, which he doesn't. It's a decent demo though, which should allow them some time. Pass to Tomio. Tomio off the post! What? Second doesn't go! They cannot get their breakthrough in game number 4!
But we're still waiting for one of these teams to break away. That could have been the moment. Dreamy's bumped away. Nolta waits just on the outside of a 6-yarder. Dreamy's already getting challenged by Xanox. Corner down. And it's two players at the back foot. That's Shark and Prism. Shark is going to be the first player to step up. Forces out the flip of Tomio. The recovery is slow. They reconnect it again. The reset carries through. And Xanox just cannot get the power to bring it over the net. It's one that will leave the fingertips bruise and to put the smiles on the toothy grinner Shark.
I mean, this is what they've been waiting for. They've been trying all the time, and they haven't been trying enough, I'm saying, to put Shark in these 1v1 positions where he's able to have the ball on his car so he could go to work. There has not been enough of that, and it just works when it happens. But it might be too all, because Nota's found the top right.
And we've seen quick responses in goals, oftentimes towards this series. The game beforehand, it was off the kickoff. This time, it was really well worked from all three players. We've got to remember, this is 2/3 of the side that won the most recent Redirect 3v3 monthly. Tomio and Nolta are going for that 2-in-a-row streak.
Again, Dreamy trying to turn it around. Every time it feels like the Sixers has gone ahead in this matchup, it just doesn't work out. TNX have always found a response. What's Lebron to the Sixers going to show? What's their character look like? Sidewall double infield bump as well. Shark now in a 1v1. They have isolated the play for him. Can he go to work? But he's lost control. Dreamy in a disadvantageous spot for him. Nolta from the corner. It's a big bang out. It should be a free ball for Xanox, though. He's got to take care of this with 21 boost. What a controlled touch. Around one. Dreamy will caress this now into the corner, popping in field. Xanox will push it dangerously into the ground. Overtime in game number 4.
It's a must score. It's a must score. Prism doesn't make it. Shark needs to get it off its double, and he does. The only player to add to the score sheet on the side of LeBron. And it is going to be the hat-trick hero, Shark, with a bang.
It is only the creatures from the ocean making the biggest difference here. And the Shark has finally bitten down his prey. TNX, with everything they've tried to do, response after response after response. 76ers, LeBron James to the 76ers, finally finding their breakthrough in game number 4.
What a day this has been. What a monthly we have had the opportunity to witness so far. It is for our second series in a row which we look to go to the distance again. Last time this saw defeats from LeBron to 76ers. This is their time to just try and change the course of their history and already prove an improvement of that character that you mentioned before. Do they have the ice? Can they break the curse? Can they stop a team of reigning champions?
Yeah, and for LeBron to the 76ers, this is their second game 5 in a row. They're trying to stop the curse of them losing, first of all, in the game 5s, but in the odd matches. They've lost every game 1, every game 3, and every game 5 in their last 2 series. Now, can they make it happen? TNX and LeBron to the 76ers. It's all in the line to make the grand final.
Shark has some form to hold after that hat-trick performance of the last game already. Looks to get the door open. A dreamy shot on, saved by Nolta. Shark needs a second attempt. Nolta is able to position himself higher up the pitch. Makes that 50. Prism's catch looks messy, but he's made the most of it. Resourceful when they've needed to be. They've clamped down onto this final half, and we're still awaiting that first escape. It might have to be off the back of the kickoff, because one of the goats of redirect has taken charge.
Finally taking control. Dreamy had an awkward pre-jump to get. He had to read 2 bounces. First the one off of the side of the corner, and then off the backboard. And he's found a way to push it into the back of the net. TNX, they're going down here. They lost the game and now conceded a goal early in game number 5.
Prism, round 1, gets the demo, but that's recoil bouncing back towards the ball. And a bit too awkward for further control to be taken, but I liked the plan in place. Tomio's managed to do it in a much more convincing fashion. Anything you can do, I can do exceedingly better. Look at that double up from Tomio.
I mean, Tomio, he's just beat 2 with the reset, then used the reset to push in front for the bump. Yes, it was a very unnecessary double commit on the first sequence of the play, but in general, he's opened up so much space and has allowed a free shot to the top corner. And TNX, that's what they needed. Shark, that's an awkward miss. And they had to be careful, but now TNX have drawn level.
Oh, pinch could go the way. What on earth are you doing, Xanox? Where does this even come from? No flips, no curveball, straight gas off the crossbar.
And into the top shelf, too. The moment you think LeBron to the Sixers, yeah, they're going to be able to breathe. Well, I guess not. You've been proven wrong. Maybe trying to make it happen off the kickoff. They just can't. Is this 3? Is this against them? Everything has gone out of their favor since the first goal.
What on earth? It's Nolta from deep again. They've been caught out. This is how they lost in uppers. It's happening all over again, and we like to theorize as casters on just the emotions being felt by the players at any given time. We like to throw around the word frustration. I'm in the game. I get to see the chat. Dreamy typed. He said, you cannot make this stuff up in response to the second goal. I wonder how he feels after the third.
I'm sorry. It's the clearing the throat for me before saying stuff. Here's Prism trying to go around the corner. Has Shark in field, is going to decide to bang it into the corner anyway. Shark didn't want to stay there. Dream will have some time to go back into the play. If Shark stayed following the play, or at least facing toward the play with even the 30, 40 boosts he had, he would have had an open net. Now Prism has got to, you know, just try to get past Dreamy and then try to equal the ground pinch that's happened earlier, which is almost impossible to do. Prism will have time. Dreamy's upfield. He's going to have to settle for the 50. No boost for Xanox to work with. Shark now is going to have to use the flip to get back to this. This is so awkward, but he took the extra touch off the backboard. Prism just not correctly positioned for this. As LeBron to the Sixers just sequence and play again. They just cannot put themselves in a good position to get a play on the ball.
Prism has Shark on the opposite side. Full boost picked up, but a pass isn't going to reach him regardless. Saw two players there, and that was enough to just hold your horses, step back, reposition. Don't waste any of that boost that you've just picked up. You might just need it in the defense, and of course these defenses have to be turned into something a lot more. Only 30 in the tank for Prism. Still does enough to advance, but a high press is not allowed to land because Xanox has managed to loosen the grip. Still, shots should have been on target yet again from the infield, but I would say that was another bit of a curse being thrown in. Bumps on the line. Dreamy is powered off, stiff-armed by the TNX defense. And it's another opportunity where I go, how on earth have they not scored off the backboard? There's Nolta. It just doesn't go their way.
I mean, it's just not their game. Another dramatic double commit from TNX. My goodness, or from LeBron to the 76ers, rather TNX. What a job they've had to take advantage. The consistency that they've held in this series, their level really hasn't dropped at all. Prism trying to make it happen. Even the 50 doesn't go his way. He couldn't play it back to a teammate. Dreamy couldn't do it either. Shark has pre-jumped the air. No boost. Tomio taking over. Prism will try to take control. It doesn't matter. Open net 5-1.
And I think that's an important point you made about consistency. When we talk about these two teams, it's been definitely inconsistent from LeBron to 76ers. We see games where they look pretty close to unstoppable, and then frankly we have games like this one where it is all TNX, and any attempts that LeBron to 76ers do just doesn't seem to go their way. Tomio off the ceiling, not like this, already dead. Dreamy.
That guy's a highlight reel.
Oh my god, he's so good. I cannot wait to see what his future holds.
Yeah, I mean, 4-1. Can we get a double tap?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can. You can tick that one off. He always shows up to these monthlies with a little bit of a checklist, and I would like to act more shocked. Maybe if it was any other player, but that's just his layer of consistency.
Okay, so I do want to mention something that is halfway related to the broadcast. I have a couple of my friends watching, and a couple of my friends, I've got two from a talent agency and a manager of an organization that wants to pick up a team. And I said, okay, they asked, what are you doing? They wanted to talk. I'm like, I'm casting. And I'm like, I'm casting an EU team. So I'm asking them, casting an EU qualifier tournament. So this would probably be good for you guys to watch. Because I want to EU. And I'm saying, and they're like, okay, we'll watch. And this level for them has impressed them very much. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Has impressed them very, very much. So this is something else that you guys get out of weeklies and monthlies, is you don't know exactly who's watching. And for all of these teams, TNX and LeBron to the Sixers, maybe just the right person's been watching. But regardless, TNX has kept their level consistent the entire series to push themselves in to the grand final.
And there's the Brazil scoreline as well, but we do just want to touch up on that point you mentioned as well. We see so many orgless teams here in the Redirect 3v3 monthlies. We even see some teams that are picked up solely for these tournaments. And we do have that aim, of course, of trying to grow the bubble and grow recognition for certain players as well with these tournaments. I'll tell you what, that is a very good thing to hear. TNX, though, are going to be happy looking at this highlights reel, however. Plenty of genuine Twitter short-form content, worthy strikes for them to go. great question. Can we get an answer from that, producer? Have you had to cut some of the goals? I know sometimes he has to do that.
I'm crying, son. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I guess we just don't want to watch, brilliance from TNX. But it's okay. It's okay. What a series from TNX. I mean, their level, they stayed like at the same level, throughout the entire day. It was just a mistake or one that really... Did you turn on a stopwatch? What was that beep I heard? Am I crazy? I just heard a beep. Is that just me?
I think that might just be you on my chair squeaking. It could be one of either, or it could be the time, unfortunately, running out for LeBron to 76ers. It could also be that.
Yeah,
he's hearing things. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on?
I guess it's time ticking before the grand final because... it wasn't a crazy long best of five series, but this is going to be rather, a shortened grand final with what Pegasus described to me as a weighted grand final with the game advantage coming from the upper bracket. So TNX are already going to have to deal with that. So we're going to have a really big advantage going into the grand final, but TNX, they're definitely going to have the level provided to deal with said game advantage in the next match.
And of course, it is the return of Nolta and Tomio in the grand final spot for a redirect 3v3 monthly. Previously, they did it in the upper finals with a convincing 4-0 series win versus Near Esports. This time, starting off with a disadvantage with a rematch against the team that knocked them down there in the first place. That has been one clear-cut number one so far in the competition. But will the players of very recent old be able to take on the team of new? Well, you'll just have to find out after this short break. Welcome to the Redirect 3v3 Monthly. Last month, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We had TTV Velocity RL taking on Project Jamal in that upper final. And well, it's in the name. Velocity RL made rather swift action of their opponents, forcing them down into the lower brackets versus ZGDX. And Project Jamal, seemingly learning a lesson from their previous opponents, enacted a rather similar force against this orange-sided team. They earned their rematch here in the grand finals, where despite a greater fight coming from Project Jamal, Velocity RL forced themselves to a match point overtime, where ultimately Velocity RL collected Redirect 23's championship. They'll be returning here for the... into their lifestyles as well, but now here playing in their own tournament for charity, they've got something here to prove, especially against this roster of Ascend, a name which has such history behind it and a player that we both very much...
But we've got our upper bracket final to sort out first.
And well, we've had plenty of time to hype up this upcoming game. Seed 1 versus Seed 3. A little bit of a change to the script here. Strike will be struck, looking to make that difference. It's time for the upper finals. I saw that ball forward there from Haven, but Hoppy Tie and a full tank of boost endpoint have been so consistent defensively.
feel this time. Choke my neck and I just wonder why. I'm buried in a suit I'd never buy. A suit I'd never buy. Cufflinks on my wrist. I can't act surprised when the shovels hit dirt in the earth. Did they start to fly? Since I was 17, I've been looking for a place to make me be complete. I've been looking all alone out there for anything to make me feel right. Bring me back to life.
Well, there were two victims of our first entering grand finalist, Sui, and those were LeBron to 76ers and TNX. So to earn the right for that rematch in the lower bracket qualification of the grand finals, they had to face here in the lowers. It was our second series of the day to go the full distance all the way to that Game 5 spot. But through the fire and the flames, LeBron to 76ers unfortunately did the 0-2 on stream, and we see the return of Nolta and Tomio in another grand finals, and also the return of myself, Sir Pegasus, alongside Malakim.
Who's Malakim?
Can we run it back? Can we run it back? Can we rewind? No? Producer says no? Yeah, that's valid. That's valid. Thank you, Sentient Lower Third.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we're set up nicely for a grand finals at least. I apologize, Mel. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I just did declare myself no one, but it's okay. It is an amazing grand final we have. We saw Sue earlier. They had a very clutch Game 5 victory, and then TNX had a very clutch Game 5 victory against the same players that they beat. So I do expect, since this was a one game series difference between the last time that these two teams played, another rematch, it should be another close series that could go either way. Sue's so effective at making you play in the trenches. They will make you play in the trenches. They'll make you have to win ugly. They'll make you have to just beat them. Like, they'll force you to beat them in every way. On the ground, in the air, they're going to deplete you of your resources. They're going to try to get the demos and whatever else, you know. But in general, TNX they're good at being able to counter that. The same thing that LeBron Sixers did to them. They tried to make it competitive. They tried to make it ugly. They were able to counter that.
And if we are using the previous matchups as a bit of a litmus test for those two teams that clashed in the lower finals, TNX were favoured as the only team to take a game away from them. This time, it's going to have to be 4 if they want to go all the way and take their second championship in a row. Over on the side, of course, on Sui, it's a much shorter affair with that first game already guaranteed and only 3 more to go. So let's give you the reminder of our 2 upcoming rosters. It's Everino, Kiro, and Yonex rounding off the side of Sui, and it is the return of Nolta and Tomio, this time with another Moroccan teammate. This time it's Xanox.
Yeah, I mean, once again, they have found their way into this grand final. Tomio, Xanox, and Nolta, each of them bring something completely different to this TNX roster. And for Sue, I think Yonex, Kirox, and Everino, they have been so incredibly good. Yonex is so good at being able to slow the pace down. TNX is going to want to enter playing fast. They're going to want to play fast, drive the ball downfield. Sue is going to be comfortable sitting in the back third. They're going to be comfortable playing defense. But once they push themselves into offense, they're going to deplete you of your resources. And now the question is going to be, how do TNX counter the aggressive, physical style of Sue?
And well, you can try and make your guesses as to who is going to declare themselves a Redirect 3v3 monthly champion by the end of its best of 7 with channel point predictions. Those are live on the Redirect GG channel, so if you are there, make sure to make your picks, remembering of course that Sui do have the advantage of having that first game win guaranteed. We don't do a reverse brackets up here in the Redirect 3v3 monthlies because we'd all like to get back home in time. It's been quite a long run for both of these teams to even get towards the grand finals. It is a brutal one-day tournament, one double elimination format, but they have earned that spot. And to be fair, Mel, other than their match against TNX, it's been pretty swift from them.
Yeah, no, it has been pretty swift in general. I think, Sue, they're going to want to be able to have a good start. They're going to want to get on the front foot early. TNX are a team that is going to try to beat you in the air. They're going to try to, you know, beat you mechanically. They're going to want to force you into isolated positions where you're playing against the 1v1 in the air, or you're playing against the 1v1 on the ground, or the 2v1. They're going to open up a lot of isolated situations where they're going to have to make you play to their game. So we're going to want to be able to try to get on the front foot, try to get on offense, not stay on defense for too long, but once they get onto offense, they have to be productive, more productive than they were against the 76ers team on what they're going to want to bring, because it was very choppy. The 76ers team kind of allowed them to get into their half. They allowed them kind of free goals and opens. It's not going to be like that here with TNX because they're going to want to control the pace of play.
Well, few have the opportunity to call themselves a multi-Redirect 3v3 monthly champions, though for the side of TNX, that could come as early as the end of this very night. Their second month in a row where 2/3 of that previous roster return here in the grand finals. Morocco continues to stand up in the Rocket League community, but standing in their way, it's the old guard, the French, the Spanish for the grand finals.
It's a big grand final here. It's between Sue and TNX. It's Everino, Kirox, and Yonix versus Nolta, Tomio, and Xanox, two teams who the last time appeared on stream were victorious in their matches. It's a rematch from I think the upper semi-final. So only about an hour ago that these two teams play each other. Here we go, TNX versus Team Sui to win the 3v3 Redirect Monthly edition number 37.
And I've got a big smile on my face right now because I saw that the TNX players are also using cameras. So hopefully they can capture some of the emotion heading into this grand finals. Tomio already gets that first ball over towards Nolta from the ground, makes that jump early. Kirox still isn't able to power all away. The first block comes on in the infield, and all that chaos we saw in the lower finals has put to the side. This is pure business to get started.
Yeah, Tomio just wanting to get effective with the beat. Shot by Xanox off the backboard. Tomio trying to continue. Pass back in front of Nolta. Almost an amazing sequence from them. Xanox with some time and space trying to make it happen. It should be a free ball for Tomio. He's trying to get around one. Everino will pinch this. Asu once again reminded they have got the game advantage now. They've got the goal advantage. Yonix on target, 1-0.
Yeah, it's the first real chance we've seen. And it's just 3 players there in that corner that leaves them vulnerable to just getting beaten by one heavy touch. And the one play that could have seen them fall behind happened exactly on the pitch. This is the consistency of Sui that TNX have to keep up with.
Here they go off the backboard again. Sui, they scored off of the counter attack. It's one of the big ways that they won their match against the Lebron 76ers team. Nolta off the backboard, double tap back into the middle of the field. No one's there. Yonix now gets kind of beat there. Kirox will backflip past Yonix, wanting to pre-jump that for some odd reason. Should be a free ball for Everino on the corner. Actually, Xanox will intercept Tomio off the backboard. And Sui now. This is what they're gonna do. It's a really big demo from them. Now they're trying to play in front for the bump. That's what they're gonna want to do. They're gonna want to make everything as awkward as possible. And as ugly as possible, make you win the trenches. They've been completing that game plan so far.
There have been a few ugly games so far today, but if there has been a team that has definitely brought beauty onto the pitch, has been Tomio, Nolta and Xanox. That mechanical excellence that especially Tomio exuberates is such a gift towards the eyes, but that has been completely thwarted by the defense so far of Sui. Pass across to Tomio, this one stopped by the demo instead. Kirox towards Yonex, doesn't get that second read. Now it's the Frenchman to finish off his offense. It's just some time bought instead. There's no one on the infield, but Nolta completely gives it away.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a spot where you're going to want to drop a game. It was a double commit. Nolta, just a really loose touch. Just open in the midfield, and TNX will go down by 2.
Did not expect to see that one conceded in that way. You saw so much build up from Sui. I thought it was going to come from an infield. Instead, it was just when you thought they'd found that escape towards a counter-attack that the first mistake is made. You cannot afford to take a moment where you feel comfortable. You've got to always look across your shoulder, put every single bit of thought in your touches. Ever has done so well to bring this one towards the corner. Yonex pounces straight on, and Tomio's top down is going to be an easy clearance for Kiro.
Yeah, because of that defensive sequence, and that's doesn't get all the way back. He's getting a pre-jumps too, but that's a really easy beat. It's a really odd, like, beat. You just allowed your opponent to get past you, and now that's 2 sequences in a row for Sue where they're playing a 2v1. Nolta, does he have the boost to stick with this? He tried to get the read. He did effectively. It was just a hard read to get. No boost for Xanox. Nolta's got no boost. Now he's defending the counter. Tomio trying to make anything happen. Pass back infield. Yonex not going to turn. Tomio, no boost. Everino is going to play the Psycho and kind of give the ball away from that position, as TNX are going to have some type of pressure. Great control touch. Reset forward, but Kirox got it under control.
Kirox down to Yonex, comes up towards that corner. It's played on the inside. Ever cannot reach it. Nolta leaves this one for Tomio as well. It has been a bit of a calculating section of Rocket League, I would say. It has been somewhat slow played. There has been a lot of space allowed, a lot of thought into whether you step up, you take the demo, you rotate back, you leave the ball for a teammate. And so far, it hasn't paid out for TNX. This kind of calmer game has very much suited Sui. They know when to take advantage of the pressure. Almost scored their third off that chance. Instead, TNX still have hopes in 30 seconds.
Yeah, they just need to get one before the clock strikes 0. Here's Xanox. Awkward off the backward disco. Saved again. They've got to get out of their final third. See, we have been playing their game style, their play style to the highest order. Yonex off the ceiling, trying to get it back down. Tomio will play it to the wall. Can they find a breakthrough? It's a big bang downfield. They need it now. It will not come now off of that sequence or any sequence. Sue will go up 2 games to love in the grand final.
And that is the important point, isn't it? But it's 2, it's not 1. You can feel it on the pitch, but they already earned that right with that victory in that upper semi-finals and that upper finals as well. And I can see that Kirox has dropped the question, asking if that does count as being 2-0 up. This would be his first ever championship in a Redirect 3v3 monthly. I know that Ever and Yonex in their own right have made deep runs into the competition, but despite, I would actually say, being the most experienced players on the pitch when it comes to this tournament, that's been Tomio and Nolta's stomping ground.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I think for TNX, something that I talked about a bunch in the last game is, do they have the character to come back? Do they have the ability to come back? Because now you lose 1 game, and all of a sudden you lose 1, it counts for 2. Because now you're down 0-2 in the series in the grand final. And now they've got to find a way to win 4 out of the next 5 games at the very least, which is, or something of the sort. It's going to be pretty hard to do because they've got to find a way back in this series, and it has to start in this game. You're going to be on Forbidden Temple. It's going to feel like game 2, but it's not game 2, it's game 3, which matters a whole lot more, especially in tournaments like this. You cannot go down 0-2 against you because they will make you pay.
And as I have mentioned many times before during the monthlies, it's become an instant tick on the Redirect 3v3 monthly bingo sheet. That first game played in the grand final does feel like a must-win for the lower bracket side. It hasn't come this time, though. The second time of asking, Tomio has already pulled the pressure. Great question.
I swear he was like invisible behind the ball in the top right. I thought Tomio had a free goal. I was going to be like, okay, this is great. Someone missed the ball somewhere. All of a sudden, I don't even know who comes out of the ashes. You know, in the Bible, it says, out of the ashes he will rise. And I guess he did that.
Yonex back towards Xanox, and I'm sure that they will appreciate that description. Kirox, stopped by Nolta, down deep, Ever gets that touch right towards the corner. That was deftly taken to prevent it from having any opportunities back into the centre, gifted away towards TNX. Xanox doesn't get the touch he's been looking for. Yonex will attempt the Psycho. No, he won't. Played it a bit safer. We're still waiting for the first one. Xanox will get a first goal instead.
Well, TNX finally find their breakthrough. It's just a really ill-advised double. I think it's the backboard. Then I was on the side. Didn't want to challenge Mourinho. Just didn't want to think that it's going to be true in Rocket League too. But my soccer coach, excuse me, or your football coach, always told me you can never let the ball drop in your 18-yard box. Never. As a defender, never let the ball drop in your 18-yard box. You will get scored on.
And you've got players that are foxes in the box on the side of TNX. They do know how to take advantage when the ball drops to feet. They can hold their nerves. Nolta calmly took that ball over. That block sends down all the way towards the opposite side. Kirox makes some advancements from the halfway, but still no further touches to actually get some scores of the doors. Nolta will actually slam that door in their face.
Oh, here they go. Nolta on Target trying to get past. Oh, the defense is haywire. Avengers have assembled. It's super flies. 5 players jumped, and somehow TNX have to recover.
Tomio has that 100 boost. Ever's already got a full tank to take it over him. Nolta just gets that second touch, avoids a bump as well. You could see that they were hunting for it in the counter, and it's just that press maintained in this half of the pitch. There's no route of escape. Tomio has his flip for the top corner, but Yonex anticipated it. Xanox positioned well as that second man, but it's still not going to be enough to double up. Instead, it could be brought to 0. Xanox says, absolutely not. I'll take my second and third chances.
Well, with every single offensive sequence that TNX have been playing, they've been getting further and further deeper into the final 30. The final 30-yard line of Sui, and it's just making everything so incredibly hard for them to read. But at the same time, every single time Sui are finding themselves in defense, they are just hard camping their net and their back line, trying to make sure they're securing their boost. They're playing for their boost, so they're not getting stolen, so they're not depleted of resources. They're having to watch the bumps, which is something that they're usually so good at being able to provide against their opponents. Maybe something here. Big bang downfield. Tomio's got to be careful. He's playing a 1v1 right now. Yonex into the corner. It should be Tomio with a free ball. He's so effective from these positions. Look at him. He's cross-mapping this from his own corner, just pushing the ball downfield. Nolta pre-jumped it very awkwardly. Second touch doesn't come. It comes from Kirox. Trying to direct it back on target. He could not.
That would have been one of the most incredible angles to pull off here in the grand finals. Tomio gets the scoop. Still not much power behind it. This one will pinch all the way back into the half of TNX. And Nolta, he's been hunting for that second goal. And with the amount of pressure they've had, you would have expected they would have found the back of the nets by this point. Instead, we're in that really sensitive scoreline where all it takes is one counter-attacking opportunity from Sui, and this will be thrown into jeopardy.
Here they go again. Maybe something for Sui. for TNX rather. There might be something for Sue on the counter attack, but Nolta did a good job of getting back in front of the play. Xanox now will pop this high. Tomio will fake the reset low, use the flip to continue, but nothing too threatening. I think it should have been Yannick's ball, but his teammate called his own number. Everino couldn't make it happen. Xanox losing the 50. Now they've got to watch the counter attack. Xanox coming from behind the plate to make it happen. 10 seconds away from TNX. Coming ahead of game number 2, or game number 3 rather. Everino looking for one last opportunity. It hits the post. Here comes the counter attack. Final seconds. Herox has to flip off the backboard. TNX scrap away game number 3.
And that wasn't a close game. Do not get it twisted. Do not let those final seconds and the scoreline trick you whatsoever. TNX only picked up 1 in that entire game. They should have had many, many more. That would have been a heroic play if Ever's bump led to a goal straight afterwards there in the final seconds. But we need more than that if they want to control this game. They've opened up the door for TNX to potentially equalize the series, and by that point, with the advantage already burnt, that would be a very unfortunate point for our upper qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, now for Suey, it was just a weird game. They really never had control in that game, and that was something I was saying that they're going to have to be wary of. They cannot allow themselves to get stuck in their final third. They're very comfortable playing from their final third. They're very comfortable playing defense, but one of these goals is going to go in. Nolta, Xanox, and Tomio are going to send the net with everything that they have, and they've got variation to all of their offensive sequences as well. Not every play is the same play. Sometimes they're coming from the air and they're trying to dribble bump pass. Sometimes they're trying to get a demo on last man and make an ISO with, you know, a 2v2 ISO and try to find a pass on the ground or in the air. That is something that they're so good at, and with the amount of times that they've been pre-jumping, they are going to find one of these pre-jump plays, I am guaranteeing you, at the very least, to make the net a threat against Sui. So TNX, it's been very good from them in that last game. They just have to continue and keep it up. And for the most part, they've got to be careful of this offensive sequence. They have found a way to get away with it. Pinched either with a player or with the crossbar. I'm not so sure which. It just worked.
Kerox back on towards the corner. Tomio will make that block, and that's open. It's all Yonex. The touch was there, but it's not enough to get it out of the net. The Spaniards both link up. It's the first goal, and that was needed after the performance of the last game.
What a commanding 50 by Kerox in that corner, just forcing Tomio in the 1v1, just having to play him. And, you know, it's so hard to take the 50 from the corner wall, from high on the corner wall. He's got a goal that's 2-0.
Well, these games come at you fast. The last completely dominated by TNX, and sure, there was a little bit of gusto added to the team by Ever in those final seconds, and it appears that energy they were picking up, that little bit of momentum, has actually carried them through in this following game. And it's another strong kickoff. Xanox was perfectly positioned to make that a lot less threatening. Instead, all three on the side of Suv had to go all the way back, though that organisation looks textbook so far defensively.
Yeah, next second touch and coming really didn't have the boots to get back down to it. Now Xanox in the air will take it high and go for the bump. This is the variation I was talking about. Tomio wanted to go fast. Nolta kind of has to waste some time here trying to allow his teammates to get back behind the ball. Where did Tomio turn to? He almost turned for the boost, allowing a open net shot. If that had any more height, that would have beat him. Tomio off the backboard, trying to put it back on target. Had to redirect one of the ball as well. Should be a free ball for Xanox as he will control high. Once again, very good from this spot. Taking the 50 here where his help. And land on his car again. He concedes it to Nolta. Tomio with Xanox running in front. This should be a goal, but any more further to the right, and that is 2-1. Instead, it's going to remain 2-0.
For the past 60 seconds, we have been quite literally just going from one end to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. This is a lot more convincing from TNX. The first moment of real control, it comes off the back of 2 resets, as you mentioned. Nolta helped power him through for the final strike. The walking highlight reel adds another clip.
I mean, it's just so hard to play that from the end circle. Put the burger on the bottom. Like, holy kickoff. Oh my goodness. Off the kickoff again. Tomio. I mean, he never really had a chance to play it. It just opened up for Kirox. Every kickoff goal, I'm just gonna call burger from now on.
That's fair enough. Nolta forced through, almost stole that goal right back, but it must be so disheartening to work your heart out for getting that double flip reset to get the goal off and immediately concede like that in your head. It is going to feel a bit cheap. Of course, they're always a facet of the game, but you have to have some control upon, and oftentimes the lesser experienced players do not. That's a good shot from Xanox, forced out 2 players to make a challenge, but the save was good enough. Nolta's off the scene, but Yonix comes from such an off angle, you would have never seen him coming.
Yeah, the challenging from behind is something that is so underrated. That's something that, you know, very famously M80 did this season, DK did a lot of last season. And, you know, there's a lot of, you know, concepts that seem foreign to the public, but what a play. Had to just find a way to beat the attacker, and did exactly that. Yonix up very fast. Severino, can he steer it back on target? No, not necessarily. Notra. It's like Notra. That's not Notra, that's Nolta. There's a North American player called Notra. I'm getting too I'm too Americanized. Is that a word? Americanized? I give up. Forget it.
Which one's the better player? Ooh.
Oh,
Throw
no,
that one, yeah. Thank you. Good answer. Very good answer.
Notra's like ranked B+. I'm not gonna hold you.
The crossbar. So what's Alex again? It's back to Nolta showing us.
Pass to where?
Right, here's the better one, but hold on. What on earth happened? For me, there was just smoke and mirrors. Players are all gone. And now it's in the back of the orange nets. I can't even keep up with this trickery.
You've got I don't know. I mean, I feel you don't play the pass back there because he's at point blank range. If you push the ball back in his direction, you're just going to hit the side of his car, and he's not going to be able to react. And that, you know, nothing. Sound effects. Nothing's going in their favor right now. Maybe we all just take what Monty said and just turn off the computer and call it a day. Because that was just like 3 sequences in a row. You have to strike. We're passing it back into a brick wall of a teammate that's not going to be able to react. You had someone behind you. Now the goal is going against you. It's just been, the goals have just been so burger. 50 win? Oh, and they just can't 50 through.
But look, there has been definitely a sense of simplicity in the way that Yonix, Kirox and Arena have played, and maybe they're doing the fundamentals at a higher level, of course, especially these infield passes, which seem predictable, but they do it in such a way that's hard to catch. Whereas Xanox, Nolta, just always going for something a little bit special. Tomio especially, of course. And sometimes you just feel like they've overcooked the position a little bit. They've burnt the ramen, and this game, unfortunately, they've burnt some of their chances of taking this grand final.
I mean, I guess our Pegasus too go up 3-1 in this grand final. It was another spectacular display of skill and composure from them, and composure, I mean, when I say composure, I mean, you know, there were some really oddnesses. They had to play the ball, they continue to play the ball, and they have played their own style to the best of their ability. At the highest order, they have been effective in this grand final and in this game. TNX really have yet to have an answer. Game 3 for them, the Forbidden Temple game, I guess wasn't enough of an answer. They just went down early, and because they went down early, the game was just kind of decided. They need to make it happen in this next game because they are now down championship points.
It was a really tough game to try and take anything out of for the side of TNX, because you brought up a bit of a football cliche earlier. I'm going to bring up one myself. That was definitely a game of two halves. The first half was both teams consistently trading blows. The ball was constantly being boomed down the opposite end of the pitch by either side. And then the second half, I would argue, was all TNX. So it's the two facets of the game that you would say should favour that side of the pitch. And they still lost in rather convincing fashion, despite Sui never really having a time where they had this game completely in control. Oh my gosh. Almost.
Okay, maybe the quick counter. I'm so sorry to cut you off. That was just like almost impossible. Like, oh my goodness, TNX. No, but I agree. I mean, the second half, it felt like it was all TNX. I mean, the reason that they just couldn't find a way through was their finish. And what is that touch that comes off of the corner? This one gets banged downfield. Tomio wants to take it to the wall, and he just mistimes the control and the flip. And it bounces out open for Yonex. Sue have been gifted a goal early on. This is not what they needed. They could not go down early here in this game. This was not the way they needed to start this game. Tomio, composure, relax. Relax with the ball on your car. You've been so good the entire day with the ball on your car. Don't give it up here.
And Phil from Ever. He's been really good overall throughout the day for Sui. That's definitely not one of his highlights. And arguably, that's not a highlight for Tomio either. This kid is so full of tricks. This is just any other rabbit he's pulled out the hat.
Well, I told you they were going to nail one of these pre-jump plays. Some confidence for Tomio after a disastrous first couple of sequences. Needed to calm down, needed something in his favor. He got it. He's got no boost here. He can't do too much. He rushes in to get the 50. Well done. An insane beat. Generated power. We're playing Boomer Ball. That might be a goal, but Tomio once again, there he is. He's raised his level, coming back to save the day.
And this is a must-win in every single stretch of the imagination. Of course, with the 3 games already secured for Sui, just one more, and they will crown themselves Redirect 3v3 monthly champions. But even if you look at it purely at just the played games basis in this finals, Sui are 2-1 up. They have just been the more consistent team, but consistency is made to be thrown off, and Xanox will be the player to do so. Set up so nicely by Nolta, not only with the pass, but a bump straight afterwards.
I mean, it's just so good. They both do such a good job. One pushes the ball downfield, next gets the extra touch, then Nolta turns around, gets the pass back in field, and then locks off for the bump. I mean, it is just so incredibly good. Yonex is pre-jumping this. It is so weird for me to say Yonex. I'm a tennis player. There's a tennis racket, very famous tennis racket called Yonex. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm playing tennis right now while I'm casting. It's amazing. That what a bump to give Everino some space in the corner. Haven't said his name in a couple of games. Tomio trying to drop it back down, but Yonex, the hard-hitting tennis racket, over to the other side of the field.
Yeah, unfortunately, his rally has been continued by the opposite side. Kirox thought he was making a save there. The clearance, though, it's going to be just as valuable. Holds down the 50 just off that roof. Xanox is stopped yet again from Yonex. Flip resets there. Try to take it over one. Connection is made towards this corner, but that's just going to be a matter of safety. Now turn to danger with Nolta getting that pass off to Tomio. Xanox is very wide off the mark, but Kirox is prevented at that angle.
Here they go again. It'll be Nolta to try and take control in the corner. They've just got to make sure that they don't concede in this position. It's a big demo off the corner wall. Is anyone there? Nolta will try to enter and control. I mean, look at this. Try to push this back in fields. This will be Xanox with a reset from the corner. Not exactly the pop that he wanted. It does make everyone just that bit more awkward, though. It's an interesting challenge. Now Nolta's kind of lost back, but Yonex has steered the ball away from net in that scenario. This one will be played down by Xanox. Nolta popping up for Tomio. Off the ceiling, dropping it down for Xanox again. Delta's going to have Tommy in the top corner. He's going to have to control this to allow his teammates to get back in time. Does anyone have boost? Yes, they do. They'll play it to the wall, but it'll be Kirox's ball. He gets into Child, and Everino's got to do this by himself.
And we already see one jump. It's Nolta, who I thought had showed his cards a little bit too early there, but he did have a little bit of a readjustment to make sure he still got that touch. Onyx passed it over. Xanox stopped by Kirox, who wants 2 touches. Onyx can't demo through Tomio, but still got rid of the real options for him, kept him glued towards the wall. He had 0 boost anyways, and that has allowed them to hold on to this offense, but it's still waiting for that first real bit of fire through. I thought that bump was going to be exactly the chance they needed. That pinch almost was. Xanox had other ideas. Nolta puts an end to this drama.
I mean, aside from that play, I mean, TNX or Sui really haven't done much in this game to threaten the TNX back line. And that's been the real thing. It might be something here because someone's overcommitted and Tomio's put the ball in his back corner and he's lost the foot race. Yonix trying to go. Everyone's barely missed the opportunity. Yonix has to be careful to not goal Sir excuse me. Now it's going to be from his own corner. He gets insta pre-jumped. Now Kirox trying to play downfield. Insta-child by Xanox, and Everino had to be careful in the corner. Yonix downfield. Kirox off the backboard needs to double tap. He needs something heroic here. But TNX, the defense remaining strong. Yonix turning the corner. Low 50! Nolta played it well. Tommy will try to play it out. Has he done enough? Yes, he has. TNX will survive for another game.
And it is another loss where they looked like they could push that one to an overtime in the final few seconds. I just need that energy for the full 5 minutes of regulation if they want to take this one home, because TNX are a very scary side to allow for momentum. In terms of played games here in the grand final, they are equal at 2 apiece. Though Sui, with that upper qualification, with that victory against this very same team earlier in the day, get that extra game advantage, of course, are still on that match point spot.
They've got 2 more to go. They've got 2 more chances to end this out. We're going to go into technically game number 6. It's been an interesting series so far. TNX, they haven't shown so much for me as to say, yeah, they're going to be able to pull this back, but at the same time, Sue has just had so many inconsistent moments where they just kind of let things go and let TNX just have possession and have play. Even in the series against the 76ers, against Lebron to the 76ers, you just had so many sequences where they let it go. So Neo Tokyo, in my opinion, well, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to start an argument. It's an amazing map. Okay?
The best.
TNX,
the best.
2 games left to make a monumental comeback.
And a lot of these games have kicked off with an early goal. Nolta has already been pressured on the line, and Kirox will pierce through. First goal in the first 30 seconds. It was a tough angle to try and find the target, but oftentimes it's ever the player to make the position in the first place. That was going to be the player I was going to call upon for the remainder of this series. When it's come to playmaking, making a team which always feels like they have options awkward, he's the player you got to play through, and TNX already have that heat increased again.
Good challenge and good sequence in the midfield by TNX off the kickoff. Now they've got to be careful. Nolta had to keep his flip just to make sure he didn't get full beat. Xanox and his teammate combined looking for the mid post. Nolta in the corner trying to continue and push it back in field. It'll be Kirox to turn. Yonix has to be careful. Everino taking over off the backboard. Ended up not being as challenging as it looked like it was going to be. Everino one more touch to try to drop it down. Tomio needs another confidence booster for himself in this game. There was another mistake that led to that first goal. Here in game number 6. Everino in the air, reset pop, control, 50 incoming, redirect incoming off the backboard, follow, bang for Kirox!
On for a hat-trick now. 2 shots, 2 goals. Pure efficiency. And I called his name beforehand. Everino starts off the entire play. But Yonex makes sure his Spanish teammate does not leave this grand final empty-handed. That's a double dip.
Here they go. It's Tomio. Trying to make something happen. It'll now be Xanox. And Malta will try and continue. It's going to be a flick forward. TNX down by 2. They need it to happen and not be a repeat of game number 3. Xanox in the air. No boost. It's going to be a fake for a teammate. It was a double commit, so not effective for them, but Sui did have to play 2 different players. As this play will bounce back up to Kirox as he wants to make it happen off the backward. Nolta taken away.
Ever needs more out of this play. Doesn't get anything else on the end of it. This is one who did make the top 16. I believe it was alongside Smashy, actually. They got into that spot. And they weren't able to take any further games in that main event. But there's always been an eye on Everino to push European Rocket League further. And a win here in this competition could be a bit of a step forward. I don't know, depends on your perspective. Yonex sees an open net but just doesn't have the resources to make it happen.
Oh, might be something. They've got to be careful not to concede again. Final 2 and some minutes of this grand final. If CNX can't make something happen, Everino from the corner continuing. It's just been so hard for TNX to play out of their half right now. Kirox continuing, trying to wear this team down. Tomio will have one more. He'll fake it low. Maybe not the best position because no one was in the spot to read it. Off the backboard. One more. We'll put it away. Everino!
Oh! He's deserved that. His fair share of the score sheet. This time it's Yonex to make it happen. Off the ceiling, off the backboard. Every single surface that they have at their disposal. This has been a dismantling on Neo Tokyo. And TNX are being tested. What do you have left for the final minute 45?
Here comes Xanox in the air. Needs to make something happen off the backboard too. He did such a good job, but Kirox had it read, understanding they needed to put numbers in an advantageous position. Here comes Nolta around the corner, trying to make anything happen. He's gonna get past Yonex. Trying to bait it to 50. He can't. Everino gets beat off the backboard. Kirox back to Everino. They're gonna keep it in the corner. They're gonna keep wasting the time. Yonex off the ceiling, resetting it low, making TNX as awkward as possible, wasting all of that time. Double reset on no boost for him. Xanox into that corner. TNX just cannot get out of their half. They're going to concede a 4th.
Oh my goodness. New additions to the Redirect 3v3 Monthly Hall of Fames are essentially already getting etched. 61 seconds. Feels like a victory lap. Tomio and Nolta, the most recent kings of Redirect, have to spare their seats on the throne.
Unfortunately for them, their campaign is going to be coming to an end, but they've definitely had a valiant tournament and put themselves in a position to make it happen. But Sui, with a tremendous tournament, a tremendous showing and display of skill, have once again proven that they are the best team in the entire tournament.
They'd already beaten second place. They'd already beaten third place. This has been the best team. This has been the final bosses of this competition. And you are going to have to wait an entire month to see if they will be thwarted next time. This has been a crazy performance. A hat-trick from Kirox as well in this final game. Yonex and Eva all also adding towards this score sheet. The players all know it's over. There's still 10 seconds. They have to play out to prevent, of course, any bans from future events, because these are the type of players that you want to see return. You want to see fight back for that spot, or to fight back to defend the lead they hold. Nota gets one more for the road, but it all remains the same. Sui are your redirect 3v3 monthly champions.
And what a tournament they've had in so many different ways, ups and downs, keeping their composure and fighting all the way through. They've had game 5s of really tough series where they've been tested over here as well. Incredible showing of character by Sue, and they have found a way to win this 3v3 monthly in 6 games.
And with that £100 prize pool, not a single player on this pitch will go home empty-handed. It's £30 to share for TNX, it's £70 for Sui, but of course that spot in the Redirect Hall of Fame is going to be the 3 players of Everino, Yonex and Kirox, who went all the way to take the final spot that they could. They had that 1 game advantage, but at the end of the day, Mel, it didn't matter. Still on the pitch, they won 3, TNX won 2. You can't put this one against them. They are just the better side of the day.
Yeah, no, they were just amazing, I think, throughout the entire day. And they never really out-mechanicked everyone. They weren't the best on the ball. They just did such a good job of being able to create space for themselves, to open up opportunities. And they must just be such a mentally draining team to play against because of how physical they are, of how, how they play. They'll sit on their back line. They'll, when they're on offense, they'll try to take your boost. They'll try to get the demos in the midfield so you won't have an effective second or third man. And it'll make you overthink your entire process of the game. They have been incredible the entire day, but props to TNX with an incredible tournament, dropping down earlier to lower bracket, playing and fighting through, even winning a game 5 in a close series where they had to remain composed to make a grand final where they weren't exactly playing their game, but they did well enough.
And they're so good at making sure that their opponents are just out of reach in the series as well. Of course, they started off with that advantage. They made sure that was held on to for as long as possible, and that just adds to the debilitating, fatiguing aspects of being their opponents. And as you can see, the rematch from the upper semi-finals took place. That was a game 3 loss for TNX, and they went on quite the road to get themselves into this grand final. But a better team of the day has won. Ever, Kirox and Yonex have been waiting for that for quite some time. These are great talents in the general Rocket League landscape over here in even European RLCS as well. And whilst that season might be over, of course, there are LCQs underway for EWC very, very soon. And of course, there is that next season to prepare for as well. But most importantly, Mel, do you know what they can do tomorrow?
What?
They can go into the Redirect Discord and sign up for Redirect 3v3 monthly number 38. We move that quickly over here at Redirect. As soon as the month ends, you can already sign up for the next. So you can take your night to rest tomorrow. Make sure that you get your teammates together for the Start GG page. And I believe there should be a link in the chat right now for the Discord link. And Mel, have you enjoyed your time here? Do you wish there were more? Short answer, please.
I loved my time here. I want to come back, but I don't want to kick Rhino off of his spot. But this was really, really cool because Rhino's always angry at me for no reason. But it's okay.
That's true. That's true. He's like that.
Yeah. But, I really did enjoy this. This is amazing production. It's always great to cast with you because we're always having fun over here. The production's been amazing. Haza is probably the best, solo production on the entire planet. It guy is insane. So, I mean, Europe EU, I am begging of you, do not take these people for granted, okay? This is amazing. You don't get production like this on tournaments like this every day. And I'm not throwing no jabs at nothing and no one in North America. I'm just saying this is amazing production right here. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. What an amazing production you guys have run, and congratulations to Sui for a successful tournament, and congratulations to everyone else for being in the tournament, having a successful tournament, because this was amazing.
Well, I've got great news for you, Mel. Even if we have to wait a month for the next monthly, you can actually still get your feed during that break, because Redirect makes sure to post on every single short form platform. So whether that is Instagram, whether that's TikTok, whether that's your YouTube shorts as well, make sure to follow the Redirect Esports account on all of those socials, and you can see some of the clips from some of the older Redirect 3v3 monthlies and get an idea of how we got to this point where we have so much competition, so many teams above 2k, and we don't look to stop anytime soon. And Mel, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on with us tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pleasure to be here. I'm very happy to be brought on. It was kind of last second. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I woke up. I haven't been getting sleep lately, so I woke up. I got the text from Haza. I was still half asleep, and then I was like, huh? Then I was asked my mom, okay, can I cast? She's like, are you gonna be annoying? No, I lied. But I got to cast.
That's what we like.
And it was really, really fun. It was a pleasure to be brought on here with you guys. It's been amazing. You guys make sure you guys go follow the goats or Pegasus and Hazza. Maybe not myself. We're gonna have so much content popping out. Redirect has so much content popping out. I've got so much content popping out. So I guess I feel like the North American representative over here. Just like with NA's bubble. I'm so happy I get to see EU's bubble, because I'm going to do so much insider work for EU in this upcoming months. So this is going to be really, really cool.
And if you want to be a part of the people that were here early for Redirect, which, like I said, doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon, well, we are 2 followers away from 1k followers on the Twitch, which is, of course, our main platform. So if you want to be one of those 3-digit OGs, you better get there quick. And if you really want to help us out, then make sure you click that button on the channel. This has been all for the Redirect 3v3 monthly number 37. What a ride it has been. We were 1 game away from the max day over here on Redirect, but a game 6 finish in the grand finals is just where we were destined to be. TNX's Nolta and Tomio couldn't quite hold on to their title as Redirect 3v3 monthly champions, but in their place it's such high talent with Ever, Yonex and Kirox. This could be you next time, because sign-ups open up tomorrow. !Discord if you want to be notified at the earliest convenience when we reach that very point. This has been myself, Sir Pegasus, alongside Mel, of course, with Hazza on the production as well. We hope that you have enjoyed the show tonight, and of course all the production we have on offer. So after this group of replays, after you see that grand finalist get crowned, check us out in this upcoming advert. Welcome to the Redirect 3v3 monthly. Last month, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We had TTV Velocity RL taking on Project Jamal in that upper final, and well, it's in the name. Velocity RL made rather swift action of their opponents, forcing them down into the lower brackets versus ZGDX, and Project Jamal seemingly learning a lesson from their previous opponents. enacted a rather similar force against this orange-sided team. They earned their rematch here in the grand finals, where despite a greater fight coming from Project Jamal, Velocity RL forced themselves to a match point overtime, where ultimately Velocity RL collected Redirect 23's championship. They'll be returning here for the... into their lifestyles as well, but now here playing in their own tournament for charity, they've got something here to prove, especially against this roster of Ascend, a name which has such history behind it and a player that we both very much...
But we've got our upper bracket final to sort out first.
And well, we've had plenty of time to hype up this upcoming game. Seed 1 versus Seed 3. A little bit of a change to the script here. Strike or be struck, looking to make that difference. It's time for the upper finals. I saw that ball forward there from Haven, but Hoppy tying a full tank of boost. Endpoint have been so consistent defensively.